Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 390 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for September 24th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Man, fall is here, man.
It's downright chilly.
Officially here. Yep, and it's chill. Oh my god, it was so beautiful. Yesterday, I think I went out for my sister's. Yeah, we went out for our sister's birthday. Went over to Locust Point.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried out LP Steamers, this restaurant down there, because I was looking up Man vs. Food, places that Man vs. Food went to, and that was one of them.
Okay.
The other place, because my sister already went to, what was it called? Paper Moon, I think it's called, or something. She said she's been there quite a few times. See, I've never been there. Well, at least I don't think I did. I mean, it sounds familiar, but I don't think I've been there.
Sir, that's just a deep fried crab.
Yeah, they do have that. Well, none of us got that.
Okay. It doesn't look appetizing. Like, I don't want a shell that's deep fried.
You never had fried crab?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, don't knock it till you try it, man.
How's it work?
I mean, everything turns soft. Everything's like, the shell is not hard anymore.
Okay.
It's pretty soft. And you, and I guess it all depends how you do it. Because the ones I ate when I was younger, like, it was so soft. I ate the shell. I mean, really? it wasn't, because it went down. So I think some parts weren't like totally soft. You just take them off. But I mean, you still break it up like a crab, but it just has a different flavor and everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's I like. I mean, fried crabs. I haven't had them in so long though, man. Like shit. Last time I had fried crabs, I think I was still in school. So, but I remember liking them.
Gotcha.
Anyway, the meals was okay there, and it was all right. I mean, it's all right, but man, it was so windy, man. You know, like I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I was like, oh yes, thank you, praise Jesus. Summer is over.
We're in hoodie weather, Dominic.
Exactly. It was okay. It was good. Yeah, people had jackets on, even though I didn't, because I was taking it all in. Dang. I wore pants still, so that I was like, it's been a while since I did that. It's been a while. I have shorts on. It's not like I'm going pantsless outside. Occasionally I do though in the summertime. I just go
when you need to assert your dominance. You just
yeah, exactly. But yeah, okay, let's get right into it. Sports. So last week I had cut out the segments of sports through playing games, and watching television. So watching movies and television, we took all that stuff out because we had that long podcast last week, a lot of gaming news. So I'm gonna go just repeat some of the stuff that I said last week, but I guess it's not really repeating because you never heard it. So like, it's been 2 weeks of NFL now. And my Washington team won the first week, so I was very happy. And I was like, yep, I predicted this, and I predicted this to win the next week too, and us to lose the third week, which is tomorrow, as you listen to this podcast. Unfortunately, they lost against the Lions, and Lions kind of blew them out in the first half, 22-0. They did bring it back to make it a game, but they missed the extra point. They still had to get an onside kick, but the extra point kind of messed things up. Our kicker just sucks. It's just so bad because Kirk Cousins, who's not great at all. I'm not saying he's great. I think he's good and like the lower end of good though. But he's fine. He's fine as a quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, exactly. He's acceptable. So when people complain about him saying, man, he can never do it, like at the big spotlight, like in front of the cameras, like on Monday Night Football, they did lose. The Vikings won the first game against Brett Favre and them, and they lost the second game to the Eagles. And they looked bad that game. And the Eagles looked really good. So while they beat up on Brett Favre and the Packers, but the Packers got a whole thing going on with them with their receivers because the receivers are young and everything. And Aaron Rodgers, I guess they haven't really been on the same page. Even though they won the second week, Aaron Rodgers and them still didn't look that great. But they beat the Bears, and the Bears aren't that good. So anyway, back to like Kirk Cousins. Like they say, he's like the big in the spotlight and stuff like that. It's so frustrating. He looked good one week and bad one week. He's still better than any quarterback we had since he left our team. So I'm thinking like, I better hear nobody from Washington complain about this, saying anything about this man like not being good. Because I'm like, who the hell did we have since he left? We could have just kept his ass. If you would have paid him that money before he won the big money, like at a time we could have gone for cheap, which probably what he's worth. We'll be fine. At least we'll have an okay quarterback, and we can focus on anything else. But at least have a quarterback who's acceptable, who you can win with. I mean, he could possibly win. Because we've seen it before. That the best quarterbacks win. I mean, Flacco won with the Ravens. And then they call him Fluco because they're like, oh, this guy, he's not what we thought he was.
Yeah. Elite quarterback. That's what we thought he was.
Yeah, you don't need like the best freaking quarterback to win a championship. It helps. Yeah. But shucks. Absolutely. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He only won one.
Yep.
And he's been looked at to be one of the best. Some people even say he's better than Brady. They say, oh man, if he was on New England, they would win more Super Bowls. But he only won one Super Bowl. And that year, I don't even think they were picked to win that year. All the other years they were picked to win, they didn't win. So yeah, I mean, it's frustrating with this team how we just like it's still the same team, different name. I was hoping the name changed, and hey, maybe now the football gods will forgive us for having a racist name for all those years, and then we can win now.
Still gotta pay your penance first.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, but no. I mean, they won with that name. It doesn't matter. It's like I said, you can change the name, but the organization is still the same. Yeah. You change coaches. You feel like when you change coaches stuff, something has to change, right? And I guess something has changed, but us looking at the product on the field, we're like, okay, we're still going to suck. It's just. But it's only been 2 weeks, so maybe something will happen. I don't know. It's just frustrating for me. It's like, why can't we ever start out good? I mean, we're 1-1, so that's not that bad. But we're about to play the Eagles, and the Eagles are looking like the best team in the East, NFC East now. So they should blow us hell out. But, NFL, anything could happen. Maybe this game will upset the Eagles somehow, which I doubt, or make it a good game. I was just hoping to make it a good game. Now I'm just praying to God that we don't get blown out. I'm like, please don't get blown out. Just try this to keep it close. Anyway, Ravens looked like they was going to have a great start, man. And then the second half happened, and things just went out of hand for them. Yeah. I mean, they lost with a great comeback from Miami. Miami, I mean, they got the wide receivers. They got the receivers that are just balling. I mean, Tyreek Hill used to be with the Kansas City, and he's a home run hitter, as in, like, he will run past anybody. He's like the fastest dude on the field, and he'll just blow past you. Yeah. And be wide open. And if you got a quarterback that can throw to him, you can get him. I mean, all you need to do is be an acceptable quarterback. Like, you can just throw to him because he will be open. And then the Ravens had people who were hurt. So the two safeties were young and they weren't the starters. So that didn't help either. So that really hurt them. I mean, but they were up big. It's like that couldn't hold them off. And man, that was a hell of a comeback. Even though the Ravens offense did great. Lamar Jackson looked great, and it's just that was going to be the story. How Lamar Jackson looked, and stuff like man, and like another week of you talk about they should have paid this man. I mean, that doesn't change because he still did great. But the Miami man, they looking really good, man, and I think they're playing are they playing the Patriots? No, the Ravens are playing the Patriots. That should be interesting. I don't know. I forgot who Miami's playing. I want to say Buffalo. That's what I want to say, but I'm not sure. I think it was a decent team. But anyway, yeah. I mean, Buffalo's looking great. They played
Buffalo.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be a big game. Buffalo's looking great. They're like, I mentioned it on the last podcast. Actually, no. Maybe I didn't mention it because I was when we did record. No, I did because that happened on Thursday. Anyway, Buffalo, they are 2-0, and they are looking great on both sides of the ball. Like their defense and their offense just look like they cannot be stopped as of right now. I'm curious to see when they play these big teams. When they plan to play Miami, we'll see how they do against them. But they are like favorite. I mean, they were favorite at the beginning of the year. People had them going to the Super Bowl, and some people had them winning it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, they look like a great team, and I wouldn't mind them winning. Like, there's no team I really hate. I don't like Tom Brady, so I guess I'm not rooting for Tampa Bay and the Cowboys, of course, because I'm a Washington fan. So I'm not rooting for them, even though I like Dak. I want Dak to be okay. But I want him to be like how Tony Romo was. You know, you're really great, man, but you never win. You never win in the playoffs. So that's why I wanted him to leave when his contract was up, and there was a chance for him to go. I was like, please go to another team. Then I can just hate the Cowboys without feeling guilty that you lost. But anyway, what else is there to talk about? And that's really it. I mean, it's a lot to talk about, but this is all the stuff I really care about. So, what else in sports? Oh, well, big thing is, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I'm going to mention it because it seems like it's not talked about enough in the media about Brett Favre stealing money from the government. Especially
yes, please. Tell me more about this, because I saw the thing that you sent me on Twitter, but then like I couldn't find good stuff about just like what actually happened and what's going on.
All right.
So what did he do?
Well, I'll read this from Yahoo Sports, and I believe they're a great media source. All right, so and it's funny how I say that sarcastically, but I think they are pretty good because I've heard them a lot.
Yeah,
and it must be like they'll be the only ones doing reports on stuff that probably should be out there, but other people are like, okay, we don't want to talk about too much. Well, anyway, because they even said it says when Favre's involvement was first reported, it's a welfare scandal they're calling it. First reported, it was treated by many as a weird quirk in a larger story. A Hall of Fame NFL quarterback who made over more than $100 million during his career took $1 million in welfare money to ostensibly make some speeches and cut some ads. It certainly reflected badly upon Favre, who quickly pledged to repay the money, which he did, minus the interest. But he received plenty benefit of the doubt. Favre himself pleaded innocent and at worst ignorance through it all, claiming he had no idea the money came from temporary assistance of needy family funds, a federal program intended to help some of the poorest people in the country. The veneer of all shucks, I made a mistake, was seemingly stripped away earlier this month with the publishing of texts between Favre and some alleged and since convicted leaders of the reported scheme. The report also demonstrated Favre has allegedly helped divert $5 million from the TANF, which is the Temporary Assistance of Needy Families Funds, to build a volleyball arena at his alma mater at Southern Miss, where his daughter recently played volleyball. So, yeah, like I was gonna stop right there. So, yeah, it came down to that, and now some people are complaining like, why is this not big on ESPN on the news? Like, this is a big time quarterback and stuff. Like, why did I mention it? Some people are saying, oh, well, they mentioned this compared to what other happened to other players because he's not playing anymore. He's not currently in the league. And at some point, I kind of get that. It's like, yeah, he's a guy who's not part of the league anymore. But it's Brett Favre. He's one of the biggest quarterbacks, like, ever.
Yeah.
Like, he is known.
Biggest
like,
names
people
in football,
know who Brett...
period.
Exactly. So I think, like, I don't think that's a good excuse. Because if... I feel like any other big-time player... I mean, all big-time players, even if they left the game, if they're known out there, like, you see him... He has his own show on Sirius XM.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think, because I saw it, and plus I saw him in a commercial. It's a commercial where, like, everybody who has a show on Sirius XM are waiting in a line for the bathroom. And Brett Favre is in there taking a bubble bath or something like that. And he says, Brett Favre's bubble bath time or something like that. I'm like,
sure.
This guy is still out there. So it's not like he's just forgotten. People talk, like, the people making excuses talk like he's forgotten. I'm like, dude, he's not forgotten.
He's just off living his life, Dominic. Leave this poor man alone.
That's
Respect
not true.
his privacy.
He's still in some sort of media out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be out there in the news. It should be known. Like, this is pretty fucked up. But anyway, you got anything you want to say?
No, it is fucked up, but like it's good, I guess, that he paid this money back. But yeah, like from the little bit that I saw, like as far as texts go, like,
well, I don't know if he paid all of it back though. It sounds like.
I mean, yeah,
he did pay interest, and then it could be more. It could be more.
Yeah, but like the texts seem to show that he knew actively what he was doing there, and was trying his best efforts to make sure that he was not connected to what seems to be some nefarious stuff going on there. I mean, reappropriating funds for fucking volleyball stadium or court or whatever, for God's sakes. Like, is volleyball really that big?
Well, his daughter played for it, so yes.
I mean, for him, yes. But like, I mean, just in general, like.
Oh, you talking about for them? The hell no.
You really got to fill up the stadium. You got to get all these new bleachers installed so all the people coming to see volleyball are going to show up. I don't think so.
Yeah, this is awful. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for sports for me. I mean, baseball, Orioles are still fighting. They've beaten the number one team in the American League 2 games so far in this 4-game series. And basically right now they're 4-1 against them overall, which is crazy. It's like, beating these best teams.
Trastros, Dominic, the fucking Trastros.
But they lose to damn Detroit, who's one of the worst teams in the league. I was like, I'll lose 2 games against them, y'all bastards. But they still in it. They're not officially out of the playoffs, so we'll see. I kind of wish they were but I won't be heartbroken when they finally be gone. It's like, I want the hurt to stop. I want the hurry to stop. All right, so any wrestling news?
So AEW had their big Arthur Ashe show this past week. They crowned a new champion because the title, of course, was vacated following the whole.
They had Roger Federer was there.
CM
there
Punk
watching
thing.
The match.
No, they did mention Roger Federer though, because that's how I was telling you. I didn't realize he was Swiss, but that's how I found out because Claudio Castagnoli, formerly Cesaro in WWE, who was the Ring of Honor champion, had a match against Chris Jericho, and they were talking about how special it was that he was able to share a locker, like he used Roger Federer's locker there at the stadium. Yeah, so overall, it was an all right show. Like, honestly, it didn't kind of live up to what I was hoping it was going to be, because like the first half of the show, all the matches ended in like fluky victories, like Chris Jericho beat Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor title because they're kind of doing Ring of Honor stuff on AEW until they get a TV deal of their own, since Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor now. And like Chris Jericho cheats to win. Like, okay, Chris Jericho, whatever, he's going to cheat to win. Then the other match was like the tag team title match. Billy Gunn's out there, and despite it being a face team that was going for the titles, the Acclaim.
Oh, Billy Gunn is AEW. Damn.
Yeah, Billy Gunn's over there. Yep. Daddy Ass, as he is referred to now. Because his sons are also there, and one of the other guys started referring to his sons as the Ass Boys, so he became Daddy Ass. Yeah, but like he helped the face team win by cheating, by attacking one of the guys in the match, and it's just like, that's weird. And then there was one other one that I can't remember. The biggest, like, oh my God, surprise moment was that Paige is now in AEW. We don't know if she is cleared to wrestle. She has been out of wrestling for quite a while now due to neck injuries. But her debut, she didn't attack anybody, but she kind of came in to make a save without touching anybody. But it very much seems like her intentions there are to compete, because she's doing like the belt motion, like, this is my house. I'm here. So that's weird. I don't know. I'm no offense to Paige, but I'm not like totally excited about that because one, AEW has now a pretty solid history of bringing in some pretty big women's names from like WWE or the indies and then not really doing anything with them. Like they're lucky if they get one match per show, and it's usually not a particularly long thing, and it's usually focused around the title. Like any of the women that aren't involved in the title scene are usually relegated to their YouTube shows, Dark and Dark Elevation. So it's like I don't know that I'm looking to bring in another name that's going to then maybe overshadow some of those women they already have on the roster. And then the main event, which was fantastic as kind of expected, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Jon Moxley did end up winning that. Jon Moxley for AEW is kind of always the safe choice, and it seems like they're going to put the title on MJF, who is like their top heel, very soon. So it makes more sense to put it on Jon Moxley. This is the third time now that he'll hold that title, and for like a quick transitional thing instead of having Bryan Danielson's first title win be pretty short, because I think the next pay-per-view for AEW is Full Gear, and that is November 19th. So a little over a month away, but that's probably when he will lose it. Oh, especially because that is taking place in New Jersey. So I would not at all be surprised. That is close to MJF territory. He's a Long Island guy, so
okay.
I would not be surprised if they did that there. There is a show coming to Baltimore again at the beginning of November, and I bought tickets for that, so that should be fun. They're doing it at CCBC again, which was a nice little arena over there. So yeah.
Did you go to that last one?
Yes, I did. Yeah, okay. It was all right. The only thing was, like, I was excited at the time to see CM Punk and like Sting. You know, I'm not looking to necessarily see Sting wrestle, but at the same time, like, Sting was a big guy in my youth, and to see him live would have been cool. And neither of those guys were there. It was very much like I was talking to my buddy, and it was like, are they too big for this arena? And then it was kind of like watching the show. It was like, oh, we kind of got the show that equates to the size of the arena. So hopefully maybe we'll get a little bigger of a show this time. But also last time they taped Rampage, their Friday night show at the same time. And this time they are not doing that, so I wonder if they'll just do like more dark matches, you know, the stuff that doesn't show up on TV to fill out some of that time. But yeah, that's where wrestling's at right now.
All right, so I guess we'll get into. Oh no, hold on! I forgot to mention. In baseball, there was something huge that happened. The Albert Pujols, who this is his final year in baseball, he has hit his 700th home run. So he is part of the 700 club, man. And I think Pat Robertson supposed to shake his hand or something. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, man, I was like, darn, man, I was hoping he'd get there. I was like, I was like, can he get to 700 this year? Like, is he going to be still good enough to hit home runs? But I guess some people probably fixed it so he could get those home runs. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to think
down the center of the plate, down.
I want to believe that, but I know the pitcher they had in that game yesterday was, I don't know who this guy was. I was looking at the video, so I don't know, because they blew out the team like 11-0. They played against the Dodgers, I believe, and I was surprised. I was like, I guess Dodgers, because they clinched. Maybe they was like resting all their pitchers or something, and maybe that's why. And their bats apparently, because they didn't score no runs against the Cardinals. But yeah, good for him, man. I like Albert Pujols, and there's never been anything confirmed or even rumors, I believe, of him taking any type of substance to performance enhancing substance. So there you go. So you can just say, hey, he's one of the few so far legit people who have done something. Yeah, I mean, it's sad.
Come out, Dominic. It's going to come out.
I remember him saying like years ago that like somebody asked him, how you feel about people being suspicious of you hitting these home runs? Just like years ago, something like that. And he said I think he said the right answer too. I think he's something like he understands because of all the people who got caught. Like why somebody would be suspicious. But he said all he could do was just go out there and play. And that's what I answered. I wouldn't, because some people,
when you get caught eventually, it doesn't make you look bad.
Yeah. And but some people are getting defensive. That's the people, and then you find out they did it, and it was like, you sons of bitch. Yeah. Like they would get defensive, like this is not fair, blah blah blah. I'll be like, especially if I'm a person, if I didn't do it, I wouldn't get offensive though. I'll be saying like it was too many of these people who did it. I mean, they made us look bad, and I mean, I can't help that. I can't help that though. I just have to go out and play, but I know I didn't do anything.
But when you're talking about the GOATs, you got to talk about me, because think about it. I was competing with them, and I wasn't on shit. So fuck them.
Yeah. All right. Where I'm at here. I guess that's it. So I guess we're going to what we're watching. So you're watching the same thing. So I guess we just go right ahead. What you want to talk about first? Dragons or She-Hulk?
We can talk about She-Hulk because it sounds like it's going to be a pretty short conversation there. You were telling me before the show that this was the worst episode so far.
Yeah,
for you,
it is. No, I mean by factual. That's on the internet.
Are the ratings in?
That's like I have no idea. I have not even looked at it.
Yeah.
What episode is this?
What episode is this? 5, maybe. She-Hulk. Because I think, what is it, 9 that we're going to?
Is it 6?
It's 6. Yep, it's 6. So we are coming down to the end here, Dominic. I don't know that we're going to get any sort of like big moments from this at all.
I mean, it might be something. I mean, even though we saw that Daredevil helmet the other day, maybe he'll show up in. I don't know which episode he's going to show up in, because I was thinking it was going to be this one. I was a little surprised he didn't show up in this one.
Yeah, I would have thought like the natural progression would have been, you tease him and then he shows up in the next episode, because it's not like they even like allude to him again at all. It's just like that one-off bit right at the end of that other episode.
Yeah, but no, go ahead, Dave.
I mean, for me, I was telling you before we started recording, like I'm not looking for much out of this show outside of 30 minutes or so of entertainment, and I feel like I'm still getting that even out of this episode. I had no problem with it. I think I talked a little bit last week in the unreleased stuff about how the 5th episode, the CG in that, it was finally at a point where it was distracting, and for the most part that hasn't been an issue for me, but that episode for some reason just felt off. I think in this one it looked a lot better and wasn't bad at all, so that was a positive. And yeah, I still thought it was a fun episode. I got no problems with the show.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I was reading something on the Mr. Immortal. This guy saying how he shouldn't have paid those women off. But yeah.
I mean, the real crime here is that he had to stare at that poor woman for like 20 minutes or whatever, 20 seconds, and give her a sincere apology.
That don't count, and those drawing shits don't count. I didn't watch them, but he didn't stare at that woman for 20 minutes. I was like, when was he supposed to do that? Like, when was he supposed to have done that? Like, it was a set date, there was a set or something. You know, look at it. The drawings were funny though. Those drawings at the end, I hate them and I like them. The reason I hate is because they have some of the same ones you've seen already, and then I mixed in with some new ones. I was like, fuck you! Just show just the new ones. So I'll
show the new ones up front, and then
god damn. But yeah, that was fun. That was the funniest thing on the show. Well, not just the funniest thing, but also the best thing of the show for me was the Mr. Immortal stuff. But yeah, it was. I didn't like it because it was the whole wedding stuff was just so done. I mean, it's been done so many times. Like it's so weird, and I don't know what situation this would be in like a real life, and I don't mean like exactly real life. I mean like a situation where you have a friend's wedding, and she tells you to be on ironing duty or something, or hey, the workers are
like a weird relationship.
Can you help clean up? Can you help me clean up because none of the staff is doing anything? Now, if everybody was doing this, she asked her, and that guy do it. So that was kind of all right. I said, okay, I can see that happening, but also more people would be doing it too. If it was like a wedding, if I went to like the weddings I go to or anything with black people, like everybody have a clean up. If that was to happen, that the workers weren't doing it, which I just wouldn't happen anyway. But for her to be the way she treated her, and then it was weird because first she was upset with her, understandably, that she was She-Hulk, Jim and She-Hulk.
I don't understand how you go to someone's wedding as She-Hulk like that. That's very much like I showed up in white. I'm trying to upstage the bride. Like, who the fuck would show up to even a like distant friend's wedding as a superhero when you don't have to be? And
that's your fault for not bringing Jen size clothing.
Yeah.
After. So they make her like very scrawny too. Like more scrawny than I think she really is.
Yeah.
Because it was really, I don't know. And also, what was it? And then but her being happy at the end though. Saying, "Oh, was She-Hulk at my part?" I was confused. I was like, why is she happy now? Why was she happy before?
Yeah. She didn't understand how amazing it would be to.
At first, I thought it was going to be like, "Oh, she's drunk or something."
Yeah. It did seem a little bit like she could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't really. I don't know, man. It was just a lot. I don't know. This is very. I don't know. This feels very, very cheap. I mean, compared to everything else that Marvel's done, it feels very cheap.
Yeah, this is definitely not the same as that, but I think that's what they're going for. Is obviously the comedy carries over, but they're not going for Loki or even Hawkeye. I mean, I would probably consider the closest.
I'm not asking for it to be that. Like it could be a comedy, but the comedy to me it's not good. That's the problem I have. It's like even if you're going for like, oh, it's this comedy thing, blah blah blah. I was like, come on. I mean, but. I don't know. It seemed like you could still be funny, man, and still be smart about it.
Sure. Not when you're churning out 50 million products a year, Dominic. I mean, they might just be at the point where they're overextending themselves. So, they're everything that they're coming out with that isn't going to be for everybody in the same way that or I should say not for everybody, but doesn't hit for everybody the same way it was some of those previous years. Just got too much going on.
So now we can go right into House of the Dragon. So this episode, they still haven't done a big flash forward yet. I guess the next one is supposed to be that. From what I heard,
based on the preview, it looks like that's happening.
And this episode, it was all right. Very confusing of what the Sir Lancelot guy is. What the hell is going on with him? Like. Why did he attack the guy's, lover? I mean, the guy that's soon to be, not king, but I don't know what you even call him. Yeah. But her husband anyway.
King consort or prince consort or something like that is how I've heard it referred. Yeah.
Why did he, it's one thing to be angry, but I would think the anger would go towards him and not his love. But I guess because he knows,
well, he's the one that approached him, right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because I don't know that it's not jealousy. He's not like upset that Rhaenyra is gonna be with this dude. It's more that he's tarnished himself and he's he's broken this code of honor or whatever that you get from being in the King's Guard, and now he like sees himself as less, and then this dude comes up to him and he's like, I know your secret, you feel shitty, don't you? And he's like, I feel shitty, and then he just absolutely obliterates that dude's fucking face.
I mean, I felt like that would happen at the instant. I mean, the guy walked away, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, I'd have to watch it again to see like the timeline, because there's also like the Damon Rhaenyra stuff that like he's also watching, and maybe he's just like, oh yeah, like I told this woman I would leave everything for her, and she's just going on about it like it's fucking fun games, and
yeah,
maybe that's like the boiling
her being
point.
frustrated and stuff. Like I can see that. I mean, I understand. No, I understand everything except for him beating that guy up. But I mean, I guess if that would see, I was thinking he was going to do something then and there when after the guy talked to him and then he start walking away. I thought something was going to happen there.
Right.
It's like, oh shit, he's going to beat the hell out. But then nothing happened, and then it turns out, oh, he's beating him up now. I was thinking like, wait a minute, is he fighting Damon or what was he fighting?
Right, yeah,
it turned out to be him.
It definitely wasn't like initially clear, because there's like chaos and everybody screaming, and I really didn't know what was happening until they just show that man's poor face being beaten to a bloody pulp.
Yeah, good God. But yeah, it's wild. Like I said before, there's nobody really to root like whose side I'm on. I'm just watching shit just go down. That's like I'm just watching. It's like,
it is just drama after drama.
Rhaenyra, I mean, it starts out that way, but now she's being weird, too weird to me. For me. That's what it is. Because the whole Damon thing is like, nah, I'm not into that shit, man. Y'all weird. Y'all some weirdos. So fuck
weird
that.
Targaryen incest.
The only person I'm sort of on the side of, but I just feel bad. I mostly feel bad. It's mostly like I pity her. Is the queen, the current queen?
Alicent,
I pity the situation she's in.
But she is. She's making her moves now. It seems like she came in.
But I don't blame her.
Showing up fashionably late in that green dress.
Yeah, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, what's going with her? She can do anything she wants. She wants to kill us people. Go ahead, man. I say go for it. Shit, what the fuck? Shit's all fucked up anyway to me. But yeah, I mean, but I'm still enjoying the show. I am enjoying the show. I'm curious curious what happens from here. What happens different from what happens in the books. I don't like Damon being with his cousin. I guess it is. Yeah, cousin. Because it's a cousin. I mean, the cousin had a daughter, and I guess it's still a cousin. Second cousin, I guess. That's what it would be.
Something like that. Yeah.
But I think that's probably going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story. And the story is interesting. Like, just everybody's just being together for politics. I don't like how he killed his wife, though. I was like, damn it. Because first I was upset that David, like, not really like he killed her. Like, he did say, I was looking at her, I was like, wow, she is not ugly. He said, oh, I heard you tell her, like, oh, like, the sheep look better or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was looking at this woman, I was like, I'm not seeing it. I was like, I'm just not seeing why he's not with this woman. Like, I really don't. I mean, I just think it is basically that he didn't have the choice of it, right? And I think that's what he's angry about.
Well, like, I think he wants to have control. Be that. It might also be like his impotence, and she seems like a pretty like strong, independent woman. So she was probably like,
"Oh, that too.
You can't even keep your dick hard."
Hold up, that doesn't
like from that moment on.
Rhaenyra's the wrong person for him to like. Then
what's that?
Rhaenyra does not show. She just show no. She shows more firmness. I can say more than a woman, but I feel like
she hasn't laughed at his limp dick yet. She was just confused by why he left. She didn't get the full breadth of it yet. She doesn't know that he needs the blue chews.
The blue did they have those?
I don't know. They got fucking abortion tea. They definitely got some blue chews. I don't know.
Man, it's easy to kill.
I mean, is it easy to kill? Like,
yes,
but like strategically, because like you're drinking this shit. It doesn't kill you, but it kills the baby. Come on, like that's.
Well, they you know how many times they probably tested that shit. You know, people might died. So okay, this one kills both. Let's try another one. Let's try another one.
Honestly, we don't even know that it's not going to kill both of them.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we take care of this potential child? We just kill everybody. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, I think the. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the writing in the series is very good so far. I think that's why, like, even these weird, contrived stories of like incest are still so interesting because they're well written and the characters are very interesting. Like, fucking Viserys, like, how's that dude not dead yet? Like, that's what I'm just. Every episode he looks worse and worse, and then finally in this one, you know, crown's falling off of his head and he's passing out. So
yeah, fine when she gets married, because that's what it was. It was waiting for her to finally, for she has to be the heir now because legally now, because he said that she was to be the heir to the throne. So it's like, bam. There you go.
Like, meanwhile, he's out there saying like, "Oh yeah, the kids can go by your name until they ascend to the throne." Like, man, he is just at his weakest now. Like, he was the king, and now he's having to like, he's having to travel to their place to grovel for
and the guy had the
son.
balls to even ask that.
Yeah,
like, because really, like, if the king like was strongest. As a king you would think he would be, he wouldn't even think about asking that. I mean, he could think about it, but he wouldn't be out of his mouth. He'd be like, that'd be stupid.
That's an unreasonable ask. Yeah, absolutely.
How about I just take your name now? I take everybody's name. I'll take your name. Like, why would I even agree to that?
Because he's weak.
Yeah, exactly.
Missing half of his fucking
did they explain to us, or that's just something wrong with him? That why Damon he's impotent?
I don't think that's been explained yet. I mean, it's been, you know, kind of shown in since the beginning episode when he was trying to sleep with the one woman that the prostitute that he was with originally. I don't think they have. I would hope at some point they get into it. As far as like what has led him to that,
and I just want to know: was he just with? Maybe he was just. Do you think he was just testing himself against his niece just to see if that would help it?
You mean or like in the previous episode or like this one?
Yeah, the previous episode.
I think he was. I'm thinking it's not like a physical thing. It's maybe a mental. So yeah, maybe like he was testing himself to see if that would work, but also like not just testing himself. Like he definitely wanted to do the thing. It just clearly didn't work out.
I know he wanted to do it, but to do it doesn't mean you love her.
Yeah,
I mean, sex can just be just the physical. That's what I'm saying. Do you think he really loves her in that way, or he was just horny?
I think there's a little bit of both to it. I think that
makes it weirder then.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
That you actually like, because I don't know.
I don't. Let me put it this way: I don't think him trying to get with her is just a power play to get to the throne. I think there's a relationship there on both sides that is something out of the norm for people like us.
Yeah, no,
for non-Targaryens.
That's your people. All right, so
I don't have white hair down there.
All right, so yeah, I guess that's it for that episode. And how many episodes supposed to have this year?
I'm not sure.
8 or
I want to
10?
say like 8. Yeah, let's see.
This is what, the 5th?
That sounds right. It is 10 actually. Yeah, there are 10.
Oh, cool. So we got 5 more to go. That's good.
To the end of October.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Then you do 5 with the younger actors, and then 5 more with the older ones to to get wherever they're trying to go, because they've already announced that there's a season 2 of this happening, right?
Thing is, being that there's only one book, like how many seasons can they stretch this out for? That's what I want to know.
Honestly, I don't know, because like I talked about it a little bit last week. Like, I don't understand how those books translate at all, because excuse me, like, this is my understanding. This is based on Fire and Blood, but like I've also heard talk of like Dance of the Dragons being like this big moment that would take place during this series, but also that's its own book, and I don't know if that's part of the Game of Thrones books, or if there's like a spin-off series, or if there's just like standalone books that give backstory. Like, that's my understanding of Fire and Blood, is kind of like it's a backstory thing telling the stories of the Targaryens, basically. But I don't know how. I don't know when the Targaryen line kind of ends its supremacy, and then, because I would imagine that would be kind of where this series would end, is somewhere along there. So I don't know timeline wise what that would be.
All right, so I guess we can move on to what we've been playing. So what you been playing, man?
All right, so first up, real quick, I played a little bit of Fortnite, and the new season started last weekend, and man, like, Fortnite is still Fortnite. Like, I recognize it as the thing that I played previously, but like this season, there's chrome stuff everywhere, and there's these chrome canisters that you can pick up and then use. And then the game basically becomes Splatoon, because you turn into like this chrome blobby thing that can kind of ooze through the level. Like, I thought that was actually pretty cool. I mean, having not actually played Splatoon much myself, I haven't like got this like love for that game or anything, or even really like a lot of like in my head, I'm not like, oh man, this is just ripping off Splatoon. I mean, I am, but I'm not like mad at it for that. I'm just like, oh, this is a cool mechanic. Like, no wonder people like Splatoon. This is pretty neat.
I mean, they rip it off. It's funny that they, at the same time, Splatoon 3 comes out. They come out.
Timing seems a little questionable.
Yeah, I think they knew what they were doing.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I think that game is interesting to me for how popular it is, because when I play it, and maybe I'm just playing it wrong or playing it differently, there's not a lot of action a lot of times. Like, that area is so big, that island is so big, that even with 100 players, you don't really see a lot of people for the most part. And I don't know if that's been your experience with the game, but like, I just find myself kind of like bopping around the island, kind of hoping to run into somebody. And obviously, you know, the longer the match goes on, the more enclosed the circle becomes. So you will eventually, you know, kind of run into those people.
I mean, I think that's part of the tension and everything with those type of games, though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I guess I
thought that was like part of it. Like, I'm just trying to survive. I mean, I don't think, I never thought of it like you go down and you have to immediately start shooting. I always thought it was like Hunger Games, like you space out, and then now you're just trying to watch your back and also hunt at the same time. It's like, I think that's part of the game. I mean, there are modes to make it that's more action. Of course, if you do teams, that makes it a little better. And then you have like you got the little small teams and you got the big teams. Was like just two teams and it's a whole lot of people, and then y'all just fight. I mean, then they got their own modes where people make their own games.
I saw that. I hadn't tried any of those, but that seems
the zombie mode, and then there's one where the people in a hamster wheel or something shit racing.
I was actually surprised that the Save the World thing was actually still in there. I thought they had just like completely killed that.
I think they brought it back. I think it was gone. but it's like a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit in there.
Yeah.
I mean, literally shit. and man, it's and like I said, I hate the menus, and I hate the menus of these games.
The menus are just like too much, and the shopping stuff is too much. But at the same time, I will say, like, looking at the Battle Pass pricing, it seems pretty reasonable because it's like $8 or $9 for the Battle
fine.
Pass.
I guess it's fine. I mean, not for me though, because I'm not. that would be for me. I have to. Then I say, well, I got to play it now. I mean, which is supposed to be that way, but
right.
I play a lot of other games, and I don't know. I mean, maybe if I feel invested, like not invest, but like I'm going to be playing this at least once a week or something like that. I'll say I'll play this once a week.
Nah, I feel like it's definitely there for. That's the thing is, like, I don't know that it's going to motivate me to play it, but for the people that are playing it, I think it's a good value.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If you're looking for skins and stuff, obviously, like I think that's a big aspect of this game. It's not just that it's very good shooting and stuff, which it is. It has solid gameplay mechanics, but I think
this is an Unreal guys, so they did do some shooters.
Exactly, that's very true. But the overall package is what I think a lot of people are there for, and that includes having Darth Vader shooting LeBron James while Ariana Grande is building a thing over on the other island, and Derek Jeter is shooting a Kamehameha at somebody or something, right? So like that. The package is there, and being in there and seeing like all these stupid fucking characters together was pretty amusing. So yeah, I think Fortnite is a good game that I'm not necessarily going to devote a lot of time to, but I could see myself jumping into from time to time and having fun with, especially with these new kind of developments with this. Like I really wish I had played it when they had like the Spider-Man swinging in there and stuff, just to see how that is. I wonder if you can utilize that in like one of those custom matches or something still. Feels like,
I wonder too.
If you develop those mechanics, there should be a way for you to continue to play them, right? So yeah, Fortnite, played a little bit of Shovel Knight Dig that came out this week. That is the Switch. I picked it up on the Switch. And it very much just gives me stuff, Shovel Knight meets SteamWorld Dig vibes. Like it's very much SteamWorld Dig. You're going down this tunnel and you're digging, and yeah, that's I'm not very. They really far just
SteamWorld. They should sue them. Sue them.
I don't know. I'm not very far yet, but like SteamWorld Dig still feels like it's a more like elaborate version of this concept. Shovel Knight Dig seems very basic so far, but I'm enjoying the little bit that I've played. I've probably played about 45 minutes total, and haven't really gotten too far into it. Only like the third level of the first area, so I'm not like super deep into it, but yeah, it seems like a cool thing so far. It looks nice. Like I was telling you when we were talking about it previously, it's like a prettier like Super Nintendo version of Shovel Knight.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I saw the look of it. I was like, oh yeah. I honestly did not think it was a different game. I thought it was Shovel Knight 2. They just called Shovel Knight Dig, and I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, they're doing something slightly different with it, so. But it's still got platforming action, but it's a lot of like vertical stuff instead of horizontal.
So it's not because SteamWorld Dig is sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Roguelike. So how does this work?
This is 100% a roguelike. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. Because I wanted to know, because I want to know, like, is it stages or is it still roguelike? Okay.
Yeah, once you die, you're still going to start over from the top, and you're going to... they still do excuse me. They still do the like coin bag thing where when you die, your coin bags release a little bit of your money, and then as you go down, you'll see them kind of floating around. They're not all together like they were in the original game, but you'll pass them as you go down the levels, and you can recollect some of that stuff. So that's all right. Let's see. I also played some more Disney Dreamlight Valley. I got a lot further into that. I played like an hour and a half of that, and I'm really enjoying that game. I think it's one of those kind of farming life simulator type things, but they do give you a little more focused missions to do, which pulls me through it a little more than some of those other kind of free-formy ones. The crop stuff is very quick in it, to the point where like I almost maybe don't like it, because by the time I like walk away, do something, and come back, the crops have produced their fruits or veggies or whatever, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna harvest these, and then I'm gonna plant some more. So I find myself like doing it way too much.
I feel like in those type of games, because especially if you have other things to do, that will at least some time between the crops, so you can plant a whole lot, and then it'd be like, oh, the crops from a few days ago might have been up, now. And that's how, like Stardew Valley, I used to be like that. I was like, hey, I planted these like some days ago, so they're ready, but the other ones I had just planted. And it's cool. I'm okay with that, because it gives you time to do other things. Like, I don't need to do no farming now. I can go to town and do something else, something like that.
Yeah, this is like distractingly quick, where it's like, oh shit, I'm passing Mickey's house and I just planted these crops outside. I guess let me stop real quick and pick these up. Okay, now I'm gonna plant some more. Also, like my biggest gripe so far, outside of like not having voice acting for this stuff, is just the inventory. Like, it's so limited, it's so small. I have to like upgrade my house before I get a bigger chest or something. And I don't know how far along in the game that is, but that's the only like kind of frustrating thing. I feel like
trainers out there that fix those problems.
Dominic, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I'm gonna have the biggest house in the village. Mickey's still gonna have thorns outside of his house. He's gonna be crying because Minnie left. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna have a house bigger than Scrooge McDuck.
So I mean, they're not married. I mean, what the fuck, man? Like, you've been together for like almost like 80-something years.
Domestic partnership in America. We don't respect mouse on mouse marriages. Sorry, Dominic. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that game. I think it's so far a good one of those. It doesn't feel too predatory yet. I don't know if maybe further in the game they start kind of throwing that stuff like, oh, hey, you could buy this in front of you a little more. But so far, I feel like I have not seen much of that, and that's perfectly fine. It definitely does the thing where it's like once you get into the menus, there's just a lot of everything everywhere. So maybe I just haven't explored that stuff, which is, hey, if it doesn't draw attention to itself, then I'm fine with it just being off to the side somewhere. Because this, I'll say this, like, this feels like one of those. It doesn't feel like a kid-focused game. It feels like a Disney adult-focused game, if that makes sense. Like, this doesn't feel like a game, and I absolutely could, like, let my daughter play it. There's nothing wrong with it.
She when can't read.
I mean, besides that, like, she can run around in this world, and I'm not afraid she's gonna be drawn into, like, spending money necessarily. But yeah, I could definitely.
The concept of money. I don't think she understands the concept of money.
Oh, she does. She definitely does. That's the one thing. I've taught her to be a capitalist. Come on, from day one, she knows. Make as much money as you can on the backs of everyone else. But it very much feels like this is intended for the people that have income and maybe don't have kids, because they are kids at heart themselves and they love everything Disney, and they go to Disney parks 4 times a year, and do the thing where you dress up like a character from Disney, but you can't actually dress up like a character from Disney. I forget what that's called.
Oh yeah.
Disney bounding or something like that. So like it feels like it's a game for like focused at that group, and I don't quite fit into that group. Like obviously I enjoy a lot of Disney stuff, so like I feel like I'm on the fringe enough that like it still catches me a little bit with that stuff, but also mostly like the mixture of a Stardew Valley kind of Harvest Moon farming simulator, which I've been out of for a very long time, but I have liked those games in the past.
So you can't have like relationships in the game. I can't be like, I want to date Minnie Mouse now because she ain't with Mickey or something like that.
She's not with Mickey anymore. So
or Mrs. Bookow. I was like, hey, Mrs. Bookow.
Man,
give her some gifts and then we can live together.
Come hang out with me. I have not seen anything like that, but also I haven't even come across any of the
is
female
it multiplayer with
this yet. I don't think it is. It very much feels like it could be kind of like not necessarily massively multiplayer, but yeah, come join my village. And because even Animal Crossing does that, right? Like come visit my village. I feel like there should be some of that, and I haven't really heard it talked about, so maybe it's there and I just don't know, or maybe that's something they'll implement later.
Animal Crossing, does it have, is it just, how many people can, it could be like more than 2 people, right? And
I think so.
One person's world? Because I want to just be like, hey, y'all can work for me and plan all my stuff and everything. And I don't pay you. And I just force y'all to work for me.
Oh no, Dominic, are you instilling slavery into?
That's how I know. Can you just like can you just see you get like you can have like the head of call suit that looks like you're the colonel. Cheryl Sanders and just have everybody dressed like that and just just out in the fields.
No, Dominic, no. Don't do this to this poor game. Apparently, in Animal Crossing, you can have up to 8 players visit the same island.
One player be the top dog, and then the other people, the other 7 people, just be workers. Just work on, and then you just be in your rocking chair and like drinking tea. Say, "Oh, I love."
Oh boy, Dominic. All right, moving on. Last game I played some of Deathloop. That is now out on the Xbox and PC Game Pass. I've played probably only about like 30 to 45 minutes of that. I got into
that's about the same I played too.
Island, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I think the voice acting in it is very good.
Oh, a lot better than I thought it was.
Oh yeah,
because the gameplay I saw on Twitch, there wasn't a lot of talking because it was the people talking over it, so I couldn't hear anything. But so I didn't really know how the voice acting was, honestly, in this game. And then the way they were talking and stuff, I was like, oh, shucks, this is pretty good. I like it. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely feels like Dishonored, though. And that is, it's not a compliment, but it's also not the opposite of compliment.
Someone Dishonored.
For me, this game, I think I want it to be a first-person shooter, even though it's intentionally supposed to be a little more stealthy. I think they give you the option to go either way, but the shooting doesn't feel like a good first-person shooter. Like it feels like a not as good first-person shooter, basically, is my gripe with it. But again, it's maybe not the intentional design case for this. You know, they want you to be a little more stealthy. They want you to creep around a little more and maybe not use the guns as much. And that's my only complaint about it so far.
I find it very odd that you would complain. That'd be something I would complain about.
It really just depends on the game. Like I felt the same way about Dishonored, and I think that's why it didn't hook me as much. And obviously, that game I feel like is even more intended to be stealthy than this. But I think my problem with it is not that it's a bad first person shooter. It's that it's not a great first person shooter, but it's also not a great stealth game. And it kind of is in this in between where it doesn't do either one necessarily in the way I want it to, but it still does a good job at it. Like, it's just not fantastic either way. So it kind of is in this middle ground that it, for me, usually I just end up going kind of but like story wise, I feel like this will draw me in just because there's like this huge mystery to it. Like, immediately you start the game and you get murdered. Like, I'm not going to treat this as spoilers because this is the very beginning of the game. You get murdered and then
you come back to life. You spoiled everything.
and you come back to life. Deathloop. You're looping your death, and you have no idea what's going on.
Now I get the title.
But like, there's a mystery there. Like, Colt doesn't even know who he is, and he's figuring that out himself. I also do like the aspect of, and part of this is from what I've seen in the game, but part of it is also from hearing people talk about it previously. But the idea of, like, as you gain this information through each one of your deaths, each one of your playthroughs, it gets gathered like in this area on the menus and on this like red string board in your hideout, to the point where it's like pushes you in this direction. It's like, okay, you can kill this person in the afternoon because there's different times of day and stuff, and then this person in the morning, and then this person at night. Like, it becomes a more focused kind of a gameplay style, which at this point in my life, I like to be led by the hand a little more in my video games, to be honest with you. It just makes it easier for me to digest them. And if I come back to something after I've been playing something else for a while or been away from the game for a while, it's a lot easier to get back into than if it's just like, okay, this is an open world thing. Where was I? What was I doing? It doesn't really give me an idea of where I was. So, yeah, I think so far I'm enjoying it. It's not blowing me away, but I am definitely here to play more of it. So, what are you thinking so far, Dominic?
Yeah, I enjoyed what I played too. I played, trying to think, I think after the first death, I think it was. I think I played up to there or a little bit after that, and I just saved it. But yeah, it does feel like Dishonored with the stealthiness. But that's what thing about Dishonored was that was a stealth game I actually enjoyed doing the stealth in. I mean, there's a lot of stealth games where I don't like it. It's too precise. Like, Splinter Cell. I didn't like it. I like it in Assassin's Creed and Dishonored. And what else is there? Sometimes in Metal Gear, I like it. So it's certain games I do like stealth, and so I don't. It's like I don't mind being stealthy in this type of game. Oh, I didn't like it in Wolfenstein. I hated it. And I don't like to do it in the game I did like, the Russian game I played all the time, Metro. The Metro games, and they want you to be stealthy. I did not like doing stealth in those games at all, and that's why I always got the bad endings. Apparently, because I thought I didn't even know there were two endings to those games until the third game, and because I was wondering, because I kept thinking like, you know what? Didn't I die the last two games? What happened? I said I must be remembering the story wrong. It's the same guy. I could have sworn I died in the first game and the second game, and I was thinking, like, I kept thinking I was playing a different character. Then I realized, I kept getting the bad endings because I didn't do no stealth. I didn't do no stealth in the game. And that's pissing me off. I was like, what? I hate doing this stuff. I was like, it's not even fun. So, yeah, but this, I didn't mind like going like, well, it wasn't much because like I said, it's the very beginning, but it was all right. I mean, I was fine with it. Whatever. I think I still got caught because I forgot what button to press to kill him, and then he just turned around, and then I just started going crazy, and and started shooting people. But yeah, I do want to play some more of this game. But I'm kind of in the thralls of Death Stranding right now. So if you don't got anything else to say about Deathloop, I can move on.
Yep.
All right,
please.
So Death Stranding, I played a lot of last night. Actually, I played probably a few hours of it, and got nowhere in those few hours. That's just like too much walking, too much talking. I mean, because I'm still at the very beginning stages. I'm still learning what you're supposed to do, and there's just a lot of talking with doing that. But I have to listen because I don't know how to do shit. And I mean, I am curious. I'm curious of like, what is this? What happened to America? Why am I transporting? Like, well, why do I have to? Why is the system in place? Like to give out goods to different cities. Like, where does these monsters come from or whatever? Like, what the hell is going on? Still not getting a lot of answers on that. Still don't understand why there's a baby and why we need these babies to help us find these monsters, like to sense them for us. They were explaining to me like how the babies are made and stuff, but not really what they are. Because I still don't know, like, are they still...
You see, when a man really loves a woman, Dominic.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so it's still a lot of questions. But I am doing a lot of deliveries. I turned cheats on, so I can carry as much as I want and shit. Nice. So I got this tall ass thing. But unfortunately, when I go to a tall plate, like a place where the ceiling's too low, they'll fall off. So there's still a limit. Like, I still can't put everything on my back. I just that I won't be walking slow. I'll be walking normal. Because if you put too much, you start walking really slow and everything. And I was like, nah. I said, I'm not doing this. And I'm not backtracking. Well, now that I figured out the cheat to teleport, thank you, Jesus. Because I did not feel like walk. Because I was like, okay, when there is a point you get fast travel. I was like, when? Then I looked online and then I saw like it's later in the game. And I was like, oh shit. I said, well, I am not walking back from here to all the way to that place I was at the beginning. I said, they can kiss my ass. And I finally saw, because I was, if I had to, man, I think that would have been it. I'd be like, you know what? I quit. I guess I tried. I tried to play it. But there's a teleport cheat where you can put a waypoint and get closer somewhere, and that's what I do. Now, there's some glitches. Now, it happened with me yet. But I'm sure, because a lot of games, it'd be some glitches you might fall through or something. But it hasn't happened to me yet. Usually, what happens is that you teleport there, and you're waiting for all the graphics to load up, like all the pixels and stuff to load up, and then start moving. Because you transport it too fast for them to to develop. But yeah, it's the game. Yeah, I'm not seeing the appeal yet. I'm not seeing. I guess the appeal is like. Well, the way some people were talking is that they like the appeal of like just walking from place to place and you're just helping these people out by giving them the medicine and stuff they need. But it just doesn't feel real to me because all I'm doing is putting these boxes into this locker thing, and I'm guessing, yeah, they're going to people, but I don't see them. I don't see the people it's going to. All I see is this hologram telling me thank you and shit. Like, it doesn't feel. I don't feel like that connection. Like, hey, I'm helping people.
Maybe once you deliver something to Conan O'Brien or Jeff Keighley, you'll feel the connection, Dominic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, whatever. I hope I never see them. I hope there are extra things I don't have to see in the game. But not Conan. I do want to see Conan. But yeah.
Did you get the nude mod for Conan yet?
No, I'm sure they do. But yeah, walking and like. The walking, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get the idea, like, hey, you're trying to balance yourself and everything, but I can see me playing this game that takes hours to beat to keep doing this. And yeah, the time I find a bike, I was like, thank God I found a bike. I said, oh no, the battery's not charged. You got to find something to charge the battery. I said, oh, go fuck yourself, you son of a bitches. You're going to show me this thing. I was getting all happy, thinking that I could finally just drive somewhere, and I can't even use it. But yeah, I'm going to still play it. I'm going to still play it until I get to a point where I really, really just hate myself, and then I'm going to say, I got to stop playing this game. But
yeah,
because it's mostly just a mystery. It's a mystery of what's going on. And I know it. It's going to be so horrible. It's going to be such a horrible plot twist or something. If it is even a twist, I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's not going to be that great. But I mean, I hope it is. I hope the story at least can salvage my experience with this thing. I mean, because what the fun I'm having with the game is that I'm breaking it. That's the fun I'm having with it. Is that because I'm not playing it the way it's supposed to be played. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm delivering. Like, I ain't supposed to be carrying all these packages all at once. Like, I'm delivering places, like going backtracking and giving stuff away. And I'm leveling up really fast. I do like the network they have, like where you can, hey, you don't want to deliver something, and you can send it for others to do it, put it in his locker, and somebody else in another game can pick it up and deliver it for you. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. Or that's how I was delivering some people's packages, because they put them in somewhere, and I said I'll deliver it for them. And these are real people. These are people from online, like other players.
Okay.
And you can put also you can put up like material, like maybe you got some resources that you don't want to use or you don't care about using. You put it up for somebody else to get them. And I do that because I'm using cheats, so I was like, I can get anything. So I'll say, hey, I'll help somebody who's actually playing the game fairly, and they can get this stuff. So yeah, so that's the joy I get from this game is breaking it. That's really the joy I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
What else? You got any questions?
No, I mean, between what you've talked about and what I've seen of that game, I think I have a good grasp on what it is.
Yeah, the best game ever. Apparently, the best.
I mean, I'm glad that you're finding a way to enjoy it, since it doesn't necessarily seem like the greatest experience as a game as it is, but at least there's some way for you to get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. What else here? I think that's how I enjoyed Dark Souls when I played it, because I was breaking it. I was because the fight still didn't feel fun, and like I still didn't like it.
Yeah.
But just the idea that I couldn't die and that this is not as hard as people say. I don't know what they're bitching about. What else have I played? I also played this new game called Beacon Pines. This was released this week. It's on Game Pass. It is a game, like, it starts like a storybook. And then like you're playing on the pages of the book of these animal creatures, kind of like not really furry-ish, more I guess I wouldn't call real, but they look different. They don't look like mean or nothing, but they don't. I want to say they look like very like Care Bearish or something, whatever you want to say.
They're not super like stylized, cartoony, but they're very artistically drawn. Exactly. It almost feels like the higher caliber of like furry artwork.
Okay, yeah, I would say that. Yes. So it looked like you played like some type of jackalope. I don't know, because it looked like a bunny with antelopes or something. But they don't give the animals like animal. I mean, they have names, but they don't say like what they are or anything. You just kind of just look at them and figure it out. Like, hey, that looks like a wolf, so whatever, and this looks like some type of cat. But you play as this character whose father has died when he was very young, and his mother is missing right now. So your grandmother is staying with you. And you got this friend. He always does this crazy stuff. It's funny. Like he's just rambunctious and always he doesn't think. He always acts first and thinks second. Stuff like that, But I think it goes dark at a certain point. Like first, it doesn't seem like it's a dark game, really. And I don't know if it's really a dark game, but this isn't a kid's game, like as I thought, because it starts off like it seems, all right. Like it seems like just a normal innocent kids game. But then you got to a point where you're investigating something like this old factory that's been closed, but your friend said he saw lights on. He's like, what's going on in there? So we went there, snuck in. Well, snuck behind the fence, and then we went to we're still outside the factory, and then well, he couldn't go. I had to go by myself this time. And then when I got caught, like a guy saw me, he was like, shit. And then that's the thing. That was like the first curse word I heard in the game. So it was a little weird. I was like, whoa, I thought it was like a kid's game. Why did the man just cursing like that? And the way you play the game is that, I mean, you still move the characters, with your control and everything. And like you search around the environment you're in. Like if you're in the city, you go around, talk to people, and try to find these tokens or something. I don't know what they're called. I forgot what they were called. But each token has like a word under it. It might say ponder or something, like you're pondering or something like that. Or it might says, like the shit one. When the guy said shit, a shit token came up or something. And then there's one like maybe a word like it says you're chill, like you're chilling and something like that. Now, as the story goes on, like there's maybe places where there are blanks. And that's where you place one of those tokens you have, those words, and you place them there. So that's how the story goes with that reaction, whatever you put right there. So one time, thing is, like the first time, the reason my friend couldn't go with me the first time to that place is because his sister found him and told him he had to go clean up, help with the house, like the chores and stuff. So, because I said, hey, I forgot the thing I chose. The thing I chose, it didn't help. So he got caught. Then the second time, like, because then when I died, you died at the beginning, like, it's not like Deathloop. It's like, they just go back in the story saying, hey, that's not the right way to progress. You have to choose something else at this point. So I chose something else. And thing is, so as you progress, you might get somewhere where you possibly die or the story ends in some kind of manner. But everything you collected, all the tokens, words you collected, from then you can keep them all. So when you rewind back, you can use that other choice to help progress through the story the right way. So this time, I just hit her? I think I hit her, like I kicked her. So, and then we both ran. We both ran from her. So that's why he was able to go to that warehouse with me. And this time we didn't get caught. Well, I didn't get caught. So, and I'm just at that part of the game, but it's a cool way of like doing some of those story driven like games, similar to. It's not like a visual novel really, because you're still playing the game, but it's like a mixture of visual novel and I guess like Night in the Woods. It's kind of like Night in the Woods.
I was gonna say like Night in the Woods.
Yeah, but but it's more of a visual. I mean, it has a visual novel aspect, but still, you are still controlling the character, just like a third person action game without a whole lot of action, though. I mean, but gotcha. It's pretty damn good. Like I like it. It's voice acting. It's voice acting through most of the game. I don't through most of the game. Now the characters, though, the narrator talks. The characters, they say wah 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 wah. They do that noise, but the narrator is she speaks throughout. So it's not bad. Like I have to read everything, but it's all right, man. I was like, I'm into these type of games. It seems like I've been playing these type of games recently now too, a lot more. Yeah. Like going from that, I'm playing still the AI, the Summoning Files, and I made a mistake. The Summoning Files. This came out in 2019. The sequel came out this year. But the sequel's not on Game Pass, just the first game. And it's about to be gone from Game Pass, I think, in October. So at least I'm at the end now. I'm closer to beating it, so I don't have to worry about missing out. But this game, man, now that I've done all the paths, I'm on the last path now. Man, this is great. Like, this is probably the best Chunsoft game I played so far. Because Like the story is great. Like the different paths you've taken on this one case. It's a one case of these murders that are happening. But the different paths you take, man, it's like you're learning. You're learning about, okay, who's really behind this? Or like people's past and how they're connected to this case as each path is taken. And there's some bad paths and there's some good paths, but even the good paths I've been on so far, the case hasn't really been solved. Like you only got to a point where you stop who you thought was the killer, but then you'd be like, I still got some questions. but you don't have the evidence for it, so it just stops there. But then you play another one, then you go a different path, and there's a path like a lot of people died. It's called the annihilation route. At least that was the second to last path you do, because good God, it's brutal. I was like, oh my God, all these people die. I say, damn, I ain't saved nobody. This some fucked up shit. And it's like, but I'm glad like early on that's not the path you've taken. But it really answers a whole lot of questions. It makes a lot of sense of everything you've done in the past. It's like, oh, so that's why this happened. That's what's cool about this. It's like even in the 999, it was kind of like that. But this is more in depth of that happening. Like 999 it was good. Like that's the start. Like, well, I don't know what came first, that or Danganronpa. Yeah. But it seems like 999 had more of a split the split outcomes than what Danganronpa have. Because I can't remember. I know there was different endings from Danganronpa. I got 2 of them. I don't know how many endings really they were though. I didn't feel like it was as much endings as it was in 999 or this one. This one's a lot. Well, not a lot, but a lot for a game like this. It's probably like 5 endings. And the reason I say a lot, I don't really mean like a lot in number. I mean, because it takes a while to get through. They're not like you get through these endings quick and they go back. Because even when I split, there's a lot of game. Like it's a lot of game here. So for them to have this story that really goes these parallel situations, it's pretty damn good, man. Like the writers. They're damn. I wonder were these the same guys that wrote these other games or something, or because they did a good job with that. Like it really keeps you enthralled, like in this freaking tale. But yeah, so I'm on the last path now, and I'm about to like finish it up, and yeah, man, I'm really enjoying this game. This is probably one of the games of this year that's probably had the biggest impact as far as gaming for me this year, like because of the story. And the writing is good, man. Not just about the story, but like the actual characters. It's funny as hell, man. Like it has a Japanese humor, and stuff like that. Like your character is always into ladies and porn. So sometimes your AI, who's your eye, like she talks to you and like she knows, like she says. She always lies and say like, hey, like she's trying to help you out with something. She says, hey, Dante, say, there's a porno mag down there. I say, what? And then you go stoop down, and then somebody shoots a gun and the bullet misses or something like that. Or they like you pick up something. She says like a porno mag or something, or a good looking girl. You might turn around or hit something that causes like to hit a bad guy or something, like somebody shooting at you or something like that. And he always says like, why do you always say that? So why do you always say? Probably say because I noticed that your reaction time is a whole lot faster when I mention it's like, oh. And I think it was like one time a kid, well, actually he's not really a kid, he's 24, but he's like a nerd. And his family owns a restaurant, and they got this poster up, like this woman and like in bikini with like beer or something. And he said, hey Dante, I can let you have that poster. And he said, nah, I don't want it. Then he said, if you scratch it, you can peel off the bikini. Then he said, I'll take it. It's hilarious. And then you have a girl who you watch, like you babysit, not really babysit, but she's living with you because of her parents are going through some stuff. And she be actually crashes like, but it's something she saw on your computer. Just like, she was like, what is it you look at your computer? It's always about blah, blah, blah. He's like, nothing. Go stay away from my computer. Stay away from my computer. Stuff like that. But you know what? This is one of the most progressive as far as Japanese games I know, not saying that I just mean of all the Japanese games I played, it's very progressive. They do have like a trans character who runs the bar. And they even mentioned it because somebody was like, "Oh, I don't have no." I say, "Do you have a problem with her?" You say, "No, I have no problem with the LGBT, blah blah blah," and something like that. That's what the little girl was saying. But that guy, she, the person who runs the bar, like he's funny too. And he always doing so sexy and those things, innuendo things and shit like that, and it's crazy. But also, it looks like one of the it's a little spoilery. So if you want to play this game, fast forward a little bit. One of the characters, like your friend, now he was married to a woman, and you're watching this kid. That's a kid who's living with you, and thing is, they're divorced. He's divorced his wife, the mother, and her mother, and him, or his father, is divorced. So they go into some trouble, and that's why she's living with you. But he's with someone else. And then when I was talking with the guy at the bar, because she gets all the information and stuff because she works at a bar. People come in and talk. She tell me that, I found a watch somewhere, and I said like, oh, that's Winju's watch. Like his lover gave it to him. And his lover said, yeah, this is somebody he met after the divorce. Kind of found out, like I'm up here thinking it was a woman all the time. It was actually a man, and I was like, oh, and it's somebody and I was like, oh, they actually did that. I'm surprised. It's Japanese. I don't usually see that a lot. Like, yeah. It usually be in a jokingly way or something like gay. Right. But I think Yakuza is probably the next in line. That's how progressive they are with a lot of stuff too. What they do. But yeah, I was like, oh, they really do have. I'm surprised that they actually have something like this in there. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So, but this game is awesome. Like, it's a great game, and like it has some big twists and turns, man. Like, you're just thinking like this person is the killer, then you're like, oh my god, they're not the killer, but they did do something else. But they're not the killer of this. Like, they're not part of this case. But it's just, oh man, it's so good.
I assign a new case and charge this person.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't think I would like this game that much. I saw people liked it, but I was like, oh, I wonder how good it is. I mean, is it just as good as like Danganronpa? I mean, it was just good. I mean, I really enjoyed Danganronpa, but this is like so much better than that. It is so much better than 999. Like, they really did a great job with this one, this story. Cool. Yeah. So, so there is a sequel to this that came out this year. So maybe later on a year I'll play it, or maybe right after. Maybe I have to download it. I might get it on PC. I know it's on Xbox. Wherever has a biggest sale, I'll get it on. For that, but I still have to go back to the Nornery game because I still have to play the other game of that one, and then I still got Danganronpa 2 and 3 to play. So at least I'll have a ton of games to play. With that, I didn't. It's funny because I didn't really know about Danganronpa. I always thought Danganronpa was a rhythm game or something. I don't know, some Japanese crazy rhythm game, and I really did not. No, I never read anything on that game. I just saw like that bear that looks evil and happy, and I was thinking like, oh, he must be like the main character guy, and you do some dances and stuff with him. I don't know. I had no idea. All right, so I guess that is it. So I guess we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right,
and we're back. And now we're flashbacking to, actually 2002. We're skipping 2012 because technically I mentioned the games in 2012 in August because I made a mistake and when I was on the month of September, not realizing I was supposed to be in August. So I blame Daniel because he didn't double check to see when these games were released. So he just let me keep going. So it's his fault. Yep. So there really was nothing in August that week anyway, so for me to even mention now. So I'm just going to go back 20 years, 2002, and this week I'm going to start with leave this one for last because that's the biggest one. Start with Tekken 4. Tekken 4 was released on PlayStation 2. This is the first Tekken on the new systems since, PlayStation and that for this generation, at the time. I don't believe I played this actually. I might have borrowed it. I don't know. I might have played somebody else's game because I know I didn't have Tekken 4. I kind of wanted it, but thing is, I wasn't really. I was buying my old games at this time, and I was like, I'm good. So it got rated a 79, so not really that high. You would think it would be better. So this is probably not one of the most goodly reviewed Tekkens. Let's see what happened. Well, people didn't give it such a high score. Edge gave it a mediocre review, highlighting the game's experimental and pretty nature, and that overall it was more solid and thoughtful proposition than its predecessor, but concluded that the game feels overfamiliar and curiously uninspired. But GameSpot gave it the high score. Greg Casavin referred to it to one of the better fighter games in years. An extremely solid, long-lasting, accessible, and fun-to-play fighting game that comes from one of the world's best developers of the genre. It was nominated for Best Fighting Game in 2002. IGN said probably Namco's wisest decision and called the game a solid fighter in every sense of the word. So it wasn't really like game-changing or anything. It was really nothing special. And I didn't feel like it was special. Like it was a 4, but I guess coming from PlayStation to this wasn't a huge leap, I guess, for some of the guys who liked it. I guess it was all right, but yeah, maybe that's probably why I didn't get it, because what the Game Informer gave it, they don't have the Game Informer review up here, because it probably didn't get, maybe didn't get such a high review by them, and maybe that's why I just didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah. All
right. So what else we have here? We got the Summoner 2. I played Summoner, the first one. It's like an action RPG. Well, I did not know what the hell I was doing when I played the first game. But I just got it because it was one of the earliest PS2 games, like one of the first ones to be released on the system. It was made by THQ, the guys that did Red Faction, Volition. I didn't even grab me, so that's why I never got Summoner 2. But I saw reviews of Summoner 2. They were okay. They were okay with reviews. I know Game Informer gave it a 9 out of 10. Good God, that's the highest score it got out of everybody.
Have been a cover story.
No, it wasn't a cover story. But yeah, I think that's why I kind of looked twice at it, maybe, and said, "Oh." And then I was like, "Nah, I still didn't like the first one." There's other games out there to play, because man, other places gave it a 7, a 5 from Eurogamer, GameSpot 7.9, GameZone 8.4, IGN 8.4. Official PlayStation Magazine gave it 3.5 stars. Yeah, so we're really around that. It doesn't seem like it's a bad game, just a probably good game. I'm trying to see like what's like anything special about this game that's really known. Like you take the roles of, I guess you play a female. I don't know if you played a female in the first one. If you could, I played a dude. I don't know if I was forced to play him or not, but yeah, there's a woman on the cover of this one, and it seems like you played some type of queen or something. All right. So what else we have here? We have going down Super Mario Advance 3, Yoshi's Island. So this is based off the Super Mario World 2 game, and just in Game Boy Advance form. So it's just the same game, right?
I think it's like an adaptation of it, yeah.
I mean, you talk about it, because I actually only played one level of this game in my life, Yoshi Island.
Yeah, so basically it was just the GBA port. They added some mini games, as they did with the Super Mario Advanced 1 and 2 as well. One, I think, was Super Mario Brothers 2, and then 2 was Super Mario World. Yoshi's Island, I like a lot. They try and do some different things. Obviously, you play as Yoshi, but you have a baby Mario on your back, and as you get damaged, he'll fly away in a bubble, and you have to try and grab him. But it does some stuff experimentally with the graphics. I think for a while it was one of the harder games to emulate, because it uses like the 3DFX chip like Star Fox did to do some 3D effects on stuff. For the most part, it's just a solid platformer. There's some fun levels that are memorable in there, like Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy, where there's like these little dandelion-esque white things floating around the level, and as you touch them, it's basically like you're getting drunk in GTA or something like that, where the screen starts to move around. Yeah, it's a good game. Some people on the internet, I know, disparage it a little bit as being part of the Super Mario World legacy, because I think technically in Japan it's like Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. But as an offshoot, I think it's very good. I mean, I'm also a fan of Yoshi's Story, which
Wait a minute, I know. I'm sure it was here too, man. It says Super Mario World 2. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize it also had it on there. I just, everybody refers to it as Yoshi's Story. And I don't think I ever had the card for this. I only ever played it. Well, I did buy the GBA version, but like the Super Nintendo version, it was always I had played it at a friend's house or had played it on the emulator. So
I mean, I always say that title anyway because I never felt like it was a 2.
Yeah,
I thought it was just another game. Another Mario game.
It definitely isn't that same thing, So I understand why people wouldn't. But it's not a bad game, so.
No. I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. It just, I was interested. When I saw the baby kept floating and I had to keep catching it, and I said, fuck it. I was done with it.
It's just like Death Stranding, Dominic.
Well,
now that you're playing
I was
that,
a little kid.
I can play this.
I was a little kid playing that. I would not like Death Stranding. Oh my God, I would hate that game.
As an adult, you don't like Death Stranding.
Yeah, but I'm saying, there's games I know I would like as a kid that I don't like now, and that's not one of them.
Yeah.
And vice versa. All right. So, I think I would like Yoshi's Island now more than I did then.
Yeah.
Honestly. All right. We got Super Buster Move 2 came out for PS2. That is, always get it confused with Super, what's the other one called?
Super Breakout?
Oh, Super, because
Buster Move, is that the one with the little green dinosaurs?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's a dancing one.
Oh,
Buster Groove. Always get confused with Groove. Yeah, Super Buster Groove. Because I was confused. So I saw because I see dinosaur. I was like, oh, so I guess they're dancing. I said they're the dancers. But then I saw Groove. I said, wait a minute, what is these games? And then I was like, oh, they're different. Oh, yeah, it's like a puzzle-ish game. All right, so you also got The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. It's a game based off the movie. I believe this is not the good one. The good one was until Two Towers came out.
Two Towers, yeah, I think.
Was this by EA, though? Was this one even by EA?
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't think so. I think, not until they get to EA, you start seeing better ones.
Black Label Games. Developer is WXP.
And Xbox had it exclusive for like 3 weeks, and then it came on PlayStation 2 and GameCube. And it came out Game Boy Advance the same week as Xbox 2 also. Maybe that was the deal. Like you could have a handheld come out. Yeah, exactly. Because Game Boy Advance is so much ahead of everybody. It was.
Sales-wise.
Yeah. What else do we have here? NBA Shootout 2003 came out for PS2. Who was on the cover of this one? You had Ray Allen when he was on the Bucks. Was on in front of this one. But it was actually, I don't even know what was the best games. Because this was a year of I think all the basketball games were bad. Except for 2K. 2K was the best one. Never mind. I take that back. All right. So now we're at Spyro 2, Season of Flame on Game Boy Advance. So this is the second Spyro game on Game Boy Advance. Post Spyro on the PlayStation. Now it's a third-party game by Universal. Did people like this game? It got a 76. It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being excited for the first one just because I was like, oh man, finally I can play Spyro without a PlayStation. And they actually did a cool isometric 3D look for Spyro. So,
yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. You still got the bitch version. I had the best version. He had the best version. All right. So, also, we got Superman Shadow Apocalypse. Now, I don't know how this game was reviewed, but I played it. I liked it. What I played of it. I think the load times was just too long. I mean, it got a 64 on PS2 on Metacritic, 66 on GameCube. So not good reviews, but I mean, I like the TV show, so it was cool to see like the cutscenes and stuff of that, and also flying around the city. Like I just like that stuff. I was like, hey, this is all right. It probably wasn't a great game, but it probably was at the time the best Superman game. Honestly, I don't know any other Superman game that was better than this one. Let me see what the Game Informer gave it. They gave it a 7. Okay, that's one of the higher scores. Yeah, that's the highest I've ever seen. Yeah, I see up here. Everything else is pretty like 6 or lower. There, someone's had 3 out of 10 on PlayStation World. What the hell is PlayStation World? But yeah, so one more game, last and not least, the big one, PlayStation 2. It's the 20th anniversary of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Now, I was interested in this game. I played the demo. I did like it, but it came at a time where I had to buy my own games, and I didn't have much money. I was in high school, so I was getting paid minimum wage, and I only had to spend money. Oh, wait a minute. What? Hold up. What is this? 2002? Yes, senior year. Yes. So I had to spend my money wisely on other stuff. But so. This game I did not get. I didn't play this game until PS3 HD collection, like the full game. I mean, I played a demo of it, but yeah, and I still haven't beaten it. I always say I'm going to go back because I think I had yours. I borrowed your game, and yeah, I just haven't completed it. But I mean, it was interesting. It had stealth stuff happening and stuff. I think that's what another thing that didn't really get me not to get it either, because it said stealth and like hiding and stuff. I wasn't big on that. So I heard that. I was like, this looks good. But I was like, I don't know. That stealth stuff, being stealthy is not my cup of tea. Even though I did play Better Gear Solid 2, but it was different. It's Metal Gear Solid 2. I had the cheats to just go ahead and go blazing. And the cheats I saw for this game wasn't that great. So I was like, yeah, I don't think you can do that. It's actually part of the game. So you kind of can't break that mode, because some places like you get caught, that's it. I think it doesn't matter. You can't get out of it. But the look of the game, I used to like the looks. I was like, it like a cartoon. I say because the shell shadiness and how the graphics look. Like the images didn't give it justice. It gave it justice as far as like it looks all right. But when I saw the emotion, I was like, oh, it looks even better. I was like, wow. It's amazing how good this game looked. And yeah, I mean, it was popular enough. I mean, it got 2 other sequels, including the one and then there's a 4th one that came out on PlayStation, but I don't think that one sold as well because they damn sure didn't continue it. So, but yeah, I mean, it was one of those characters. He was like the third guy behind Jack and Ratchet, and then it was him. But yeah, they all had at least 3 games, even though Ratchet and Jack had spinoffs. I believe they're most popular. I don't know if there was a spinoff of Sly Cooper. I think he was just in that 4 for All game that came out on PS3. I think it was. I never. Go ahead.
The 4 for All that was the Ratchet game.
Okay, what's the one called with all the characters then? Oh, PlayStation Move Heroes. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
That's a crossover with Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Dexter, and Sly Cooper.
Gotcha. I completely forgot about that game. I was saying, how would you feel about Sony taking some of these franchises that they've basically abandoned at this point and having a different studio other than their original work on them?
I'm okay with that because the other studios is going to be making the same fucking games. So yeah, yeah, I'll be okay.
Yeah,
I'd definitely be okay with that. I mean, I want that.
Mean, obviously, at a certain point, like it's going to be hard for some of these studios to work on The Last of Us and Jack and Daxter and Uncharted because we're getting a new Uncharted at some point. So yeah, it would be nice if they had other support studios kind of try their hand at some of these things.
So that is it for the flashback segment. So I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. So what we got there?
All right, Dominic. First up, we got Ted Lasso and AFC Richmond, the Greyhounds. They are being added to FIFA 23. So if you wanna coach and check out Ted Lasso, he's now in soccer game. This makes perfect sense. He stands on the sideline, and you can do your coach mode or whatever.
Oh, okay.
In that game,
that was the show that won best comedy. That's what it was. Yeah, Ted Lasso one. I was trying to think of.
It's very good.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that's cool. That's cool that he's in there. That'd be like the most incentive that I would want to play the game. But but then again, then I realized like, oh, it's not funny, and then I'll stop.
Yeah. So they've got him. They've got Coach Beard also on the sidelines, and then they have the big names from the team like Roy Kent and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. They got all their likenesses. So. Yeah, but it's still FIFA at the end of the day, so I'm more interested in if the rumors are true that Ted Lasso will be added to multiverses at some point. That's the right kind of dumb that I'm looking for, Dominic.
Oh, he's WB, Warner Brothers on that?
Yeah, Warner Brothers produces that show, so
yeah.
Could very well happen, Dominic. All right, next up, this is some pretty big news, even though it just kind of dropped in the middle of the week to what feels like not much avail. EA is making an Iron Man game. It's being made by Motive, the studio behind the new Dead Space game. So I guess once they're finished and get that out the door, they'll begin working on this, because it sounds like it's not anywhere in development, really. It's like pre-production still, and it sounds like this is actually going to come out before that Black Panther game that we had talked about rumors of. Not the Black Panther and Captain America game, but the other open world Black Panther game that is allegedly happening still from EA. So I'm thinking this game doesn't come out until like late 2024 at the earliest. So we are hearing some news about some games very early now, because there's also like the Ubisoft Star Wars game that we heard about several years ago that we're still just waiting on.
But waiting to
more
be canceled.
Details about that. Exactly.
I don't know.
It's Ubisoft. It's not EA.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a lot of games for the future, man. But the thing is, I'm not getting super excited. I was going to wait till I see something, you know? Yeah. So,
what would you want out of an Iron Man game? Because I feel like he doesn't adapt to the open world in the same way that like a street level guy like a Spider-Man.
You played Anthem, man. That's what it is.
I mean, absolutely, as far as like gameplay wise, no, that feels perfect, but like it's got to be a more structured linear story, right? Oh
no. I mean, it has to, yeah, because he's not a guy who goes around the city like, I'm just going around the city to see.
He's more of a global guy, so like once you give me an open world, like it feels silly to me that I can't like fly out of New York or whatever city they would.
Well, that's what it should do. Then it should be literally an open world. Like a world.
Just the entire world. Just go over to fucking Middle East and help save the troops or whatever, like he does in the first movie.
But I feel like it could be like open levels like that. You know what I mean? Like open world in that sense. But a linear story is what that has to be. And like it can't be like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man with New York City or something like that.
Yeah. But I'm excited for that if they put the work in to make it good. Like you said, I completely forgot about that game, but it did feel very much like the way you would want an Iron Man game to play. Like they did a good job of the movement in that game, I will say.
It's just to play it, people.
Everything around it. They haven't taken the servers down yet.
I mean, I still see the game on Game Pass. I can play it. So I'm like,
God,
what can?
yeah.
They took the service down. You couldn't do it at all, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of Game Pass, Dominic, we got new hardware announced by Logitech, the G Cloud handheld. This sports a 7-inch 1080p touchscreen with a 12-hour battery life. It's basically a phone or a tablet. It's got an ARM processor in it that is used to mostly play games that you would stream via Game Pass or NVIDIA GeForce Now.
Yeah.
The problem I feel like they run into here, and this is coming out October 17th, so relatively soon, is that it's going to cost $350 or $300 if you pre-order it right now. When you're in that range, you're not that far off of a Steam Deck, which can play games natively as well, which this will not be able to. I mean, this can run some like Android games natively. You might be able to play some like Fortnite. I do wonder how that would handle that. Or, you know, a PUBG Mobile or a Call of Duty Mobile or whatever the kids are playing nowadays. But for that price, it just feels like you either already have your phone and could get one of those things like a Backbone or whatever, or tether a controller to it, or you just spend $50 to $100 more and you get a Steam Deck that just runs everything. What are you thinking on this thing?
Yeah, well, you showed me that the tweet of this system. Yeah, who is it for? Like, if they can afford something like this, or even know about this, like the people who know about this know about the Steam Deck. I feel like
right.
I feel like nobody's going to know about this and not know about Steam Deck unless they saw somebody have the computer screen open to this site of this thing, and they're an old person. They saw it, and that's why they know about it. Because it's like, yeah, you would just say, I'll just get a Steam Deck. Or I'll say, well, I just Switch. I mean, what the hell?
You say that, but like watching football today, all you're going to see is Logitech G Cloud handheld ads all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a Logitech ad.
They don't need ads, Dominic. I'm using their mouse right now and their keyboard.
Yeah,
love God.
that's what I'm saying. They don't do that. But for something like that, is that look like the Steam Deck doesn't have an ad, but people know. But the techies know about it. Like everybody who's in the game and stuff, you see it because you read it somewhere, and then you read this, and but you're going to see that that's basically the audience for this, and they're going to see like unless you're a guy who just likes to have stuff, like you just like to have everything.
Yeah,
you'll get it. But how many of those guys are there enough to hold that afloat? Is that good enough for them? Because
probably
it doesn't make
not.
sense any otherwise to get it.
Yeah, I've heard people speculate that like this is kind of Microsoft's play of like, we're not going to make our own handheld, but we'll support this one, and because of that, it's Logitech going out there and needing to make a profit on the hardware because they're not selling games like a first party would be, like a Sony or Microsoft if they were selling their hand, or obviously Nintendo. But at the same time, and I mean, Steam, I guess, is probably the same way subsidized in that way. You know, they can sell you a cheaper handheld because they know they're going to make their money back on those games that you're going to buy through Steam. But if that's the disadvantage, then like maybe you just don't make this thing because again, it just, like you said, who buys this thing at that price? It seems crazy to me. I mean, I know the Steam Deck is probably quite heavy from everything that I've seen and quite large. And this looks a little on the slimmer side. But the trade-off that you get with that heft for the Steam Deck for $50 more once this goes back to regular price, it just seems like an insane proposition to consider buying this Logitech thing.
Yeah. It is.
When I could play cloud stuff and native stuff and everything basically on a Steam Deck, because you're talking you can put Windows on that thing and then play everything.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly who this is for. I mean, I feel like it's for the person who can afford all that stuff, and they just want to have it.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess we'll see. I could see this thing ending up on steep discount and being discontinued relatively quickly, because I just don't see it.
But you would think they knew that, right? When.
I'm sure they've got to take that into consideration, but I don't know if it's like optimism and then they're going to get smacked with harsh reality, or maybe, someone like Microsoft or Nvidia are kicking them a cut,
Okay.
But if that were the case, then they should be coming in at a lower price, right? Like, I get that you're basically selling phone hardware with controllers attached, and phones are not cheap. But at the same time, when there's competition in that space from something like the Steam Deck, it's just a hard pill to swallow, I feel like. Especially when you already have a phone in your pocket. If I'm looking for just something that's equivalent to my phone with controllers on the side, I have options for that. Now, one could argue that the backbone at like $100 or whatever it is also feels a little on the steep side, but it really depends on what you value as far as like control input and whether you would actually spend time playing on your phone. Like, I've considered buying one of those things in the past, but I just can't envision myself playing on my phone in that way, even with one of those things. So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I got where I can just hook my Xbox controller to my phone, I think that's good enough. I mean, for me.
Yeah. So we shall see. It is mere weeks away. So. We shall see. All right, Dominic, in some other news, Video Game Donkey of YouTube fame. You kind of put me onto his videos, and he is quite hilarious. He is starting a game publisher called Big Mode. He put a video out basically announcing this, saying, hey, if you're a game developer and you're looking to get published, reach out to me. I'm tired of waiting on the sidelines. I want to get into the game.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I know that there's a lot of talk about how like he doesn't have any experience related to this stuff, but like, what do you need outside of lots of money, which he seemingly has, and some knowledge of what games you think are going to get over and which aren't? You invest money into a game that you think will be successful, and I don't know what his policy is going to be on advertising or talking about games that he's involved with, but just having a channel and audience the size of Video Game Donkey in and of itself will help out these indie games that he would be publishing if that's something he's going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, publishing, yeah. There really is just the money part for the publishers. And I mean, it's other things you need to know, like how to advertise a game, how to get it into people's hands.
I think from his YouTube experience, he's done quite well. I think there are games that have been put on people's radar that they may not have known about.
But the biggest thing is still the money.
Yeah.
That's still the money. So I'm like, I don't see a problem. Like, I mean, just see if it works. I mean, if somebody wants to try them out, small game, and use this company, fine. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, give developers more.
At first, I thought when I first read the story, I was thinking like, oh, he's making a game, and then I was like, it's like, oh, okay. He's a publisher. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I said, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I think he has a very smart insight on, despite just his videos being funny, I think he has a very, very smart insight on the games that he plays and discusses, and the mechanics of them and the way they succeed and fail. So I think he has the right mindset for this to be successful.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, I can't find anything negative like from this from me, from my point of view.
Yeah. People on the internet just being dicks, not wanting to see people succeed, I guess. You know, the normal.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic. Next up, this is big story this week. Sunday morning last week, I woke up and it was kind of early, and I was just looking at Twitter, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all this stuff about Grand Theft Auto 6, and I can't tell you how many days of the year I wake up, I look at Twitter, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is trending because
oh my god,
somebody
you know how
just
many
said
things my
Grand Theft
friends
Auto
have sent me about Grand Theft Auto 6, and then they had a nerve to question my ass when I sent them this. I'm like, you get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Here's the real thing finally, after you've sent me all of these fake ones.
I think my friend, he was all upset saying like, it doesn't look that good. It looks like 5. And I said, well, there's other videos of it, and I mean, it's early. And I said, this is like early part of it. Then he said I should have showed him another one like this other dude showed him. I said, I just picked one video. You can look up the damn self. What the fuck?
Dominic, you should have went through all 90 videos and selected.
I was like, it's a lot of them. I wasn't going to give you. I was thinking you would just see the rest of them. But did they find out who did it? Oh no, go ahead. The leak. I was saying. Yeah. Am I getting too ahead of the story?
Grand Theft Auto 6. There was a huge leak out of Rockstar. It sounds like a third party somehow got into their system, possibly through Slack, and was able to obtain 90 videos of different forms of gameplay and visual tests of Grand Theft Auto 6, basically confirming what Jason Schreier previously reported, that it was going to be a couple that was playable, a man and a woman, that was kind of in the Bonnie and Clyde model, and would take place in Vice City. All of that seems to be corroborated by these leaks. And as you stated, they were early, so they looked fine, but there was nothing mind-blowing about them particularly.
Yeah. The acid wash dreams, I'm thinking, that the woman was wearing.
Yeah.
Is that a time period thing, or that's just her being like trash?
Back.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't.
I don't know, because the dude character was very white trash looking.
That's why when I saw him, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, they might be white.
Yeah. So I did not watch all 90 videos. I definitely kind of just clicked on a couple random ones. There's one where the woman goes into basically like a restaurant or like a diner, and there's like a robbery sequence. It seems interesting if they're going to go the route of like more freedom from Grand Theft Auto, because obviously like you have this open world, but it's always been like kind of a focus on the streets and the outer world. Whereas like this, you could maybe go more into buildings, more interactions with NPCs and stuff like that. That could create some fun scenarios. Yeah, but it does sound like there is maybe a suspect that has been arrested. A 17-year-old was arrested by the London police related to some cyber
17.
security stuff. Yeah, 17. They may also have been involved in some hacking for Uber also that happened a little bit ago. Oh man,
so he's gonna get like a government job.
Once he gets out of prison, maybe. Or he's gonna be like, was that dude's name Mitnick or something, where he couldn't touch a computer for basically the rest of his life. Yeah, I mean, that's wild if it's only a 17-year-old kid that was able to get this stuff. I feel for the developers who, have to now listen to how their game doesn't look very good and whatnot, despite this being early stuff. But otherwise, hell yeah, really, we got to see
developers can be like, they should know, like, people are idiots. I mean, everybody should know that. Everybody should know people are stupid.
Everybody should know that, yes.
And then that just makes things a whole lot easier to say, oh yeah, they're stupid. So what? I can't do anything about that. That's just what it is. That's just keep doing what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, I think I saw some people say that, but then I saw a lot of people, they knew that a lot of people I saw were saying like, man, this looks kind of good. And this is because they were saying good because it's early. They know it's early. It's like, oh, so what was it going to look like when it's over? Oh, wait a minute, is that a fumble? Come on. We need that. Get off the ball. It's our ball. Oh, I'm looking at Maryland, Michigan game tie 10-10. Yep, Maryland got the ball. All right, but yeah, Dan, this at least I know it's being made now. That's all I wanted. I just want to see something. You know, a title or something. But I mean, we didn't get that. But we got this. So thank you, young 17-year-old.
Yes, thank you for your sacrifice.
I hope you don't have to be in jail long. Yeah, I hope you'll be all right.
Yeah,
I don't know how the justice system works over there in London.
Yeah.
What do they do? Beheadings or something like that?
Oh my goodness! Yes, they still use a guillotine. Yeah.
Or public hangings or something like that. Yeah, they do that. It's like they just have everybody just stand out and drop the thing under them, drop the floor. But yeah,
just wild.
So the videos, I mean, I haven't looked at all of them. Honestly, I just if they come to me, I see them, I looked at them. So I saw the girl. Of course, I saw the one. Yeah, she looked like she's wearing acid wash jeans. So that's what I was wondering. Like, is this current times or not?
Yeah,
did you see a cell phone or anything?
I don't think I did.
I mean, technically there was a cell phone in Vice City, but it was the big one. Yeah. So you know,
you would notice that one.
Yeah. But
I'm trying to think if Jason Schreier's reporting had any indication of time, but I don't remember.
I mean, the car stuff driving, it was really early, but I couldn't tell, like, from the cars. I'm not a car guy.
There was a video of rain that looked very good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't see any beaches or nothing, did you? In yours?
No, I don't recall.
Yeah.
It was all mostly kind of city stuff.
Or like out in the boonies somewhere. Who knows? I don't know where.
In the Everglades.
Yeah. Well, it didn't look swampy then.
The swamp people. No, it didn't. It looked, yeah.
Man, I'm just saying, it could be, maybe there's going to be more foliage or something. It's game on. I don't know. I don't know, like, what area that is. I don't know really Florida. Only in Florida, I know Disney World. I know they have beaches. I know Miami. And that's it. I don't know nothing. Yeah. Like the Gators, the Everglades, I don't know what it really looks like. Only thing I know is the football stadium. I don't know what the hell it looks like outside that football stadium when I watch it on TV. Like, I just imagine they're around a swamp and they gotta.
Do they have a gator pit in that stadium?
I never noticed one. I never seen it. If they do, if they do, I just never seen it.
There should be
they should have it. Like wrestle a gator. It's like, hey, child, to wrestle a gator or something like that. Like, hey,
I was thinking more put the gator down. No, just like an area so when they're playing the game in the background, you just see the alligators laying on themselves.
They had the dolphins. I think they used to have a dolphin.
Yeah, they did. Well, I was going to say, yeah, they did, but that was based on Ace Ventura. So
well, that's what I based it on. It's real. It's real, Don. That's a true story. I'm trying to think. Oh, Double Rays have rays. They have a rays where you could touch the rays and stuff, and then they not the ones that killed the guy though. They don't have that one.
Obviously, yeah. They don't have that one specifically. They didn't fly him over.
And they start calling Double Rays. Right? They call them rays now. Yeah. That's crazy. Did PETA do that
before or after?
I don't. That's a good question, but I don't know if the PETA. Because there's people. When people do the joke about, I don't know if I gave you this. They would do the joke about the they say why they call a killer whale, but they call the great white shark great. So like it's a joke. Like it's like white black. Like how they do that. And then you got this person like freaking. I don't know if they were serious or not though. They were saying that did they give a negative connotation of whales. It is not call them that either. And it's like that. They're not killers. It's just like that. It makes people think of something. I was like, what?
They're not killers. They're maimers.
Or like how sharks, like showing sharks doing something. It's like, that just giving them that. I was like, people going to think, look, if they see this, the animals do something, they're going to think a certain way. It's not like they're going out to kill them just to kill them. Yeah. And if they are out there, that's going to stop them. People ain't going out there because they kill people, so we got to kill all of them. I'm like, who the hell is doing that? Who the hell is out there doing that? Jesus Christ! Like, I know animals are animals. And wow, what the hell? Because of hippos should be called killer hippos or something like that. They're the ones that kill most people.
Dangerous.
Y'all rude. Y'all fooled my ass with that hungry hippo shit, man. I don't know how y'all.
All they do is eat marbles and human flesh.
All right, so back to Grand Theft Auto. So I wonder, what does this do for them? Like, what does this do? How far does it set them back?
They said it's not going to cause any delays. Now, the biggest effect I've seen on it so far is just that their stock price tanked on Monday.
Okay.
But that's stupid because, come on, like, Grand Theft Auto is going to sell by the buttload, so all that is like a temporary discount for people that are smart enough to play the long game.
Somebody like put up a conspiracy like this is like set up or something, because they said like nobody's really talking about it. But I was like, Grand Theft Auto is going to be the biggest thing. If they put it out there, it's going to be the biggest thing. They don't need to do that. Yeah. Like, if this was something, that'd be stupid, because it's like, I looked at the player base for last month, and they say, it's down, but it was still like 70 something thousand people playing, or 90 something thousand, and they said it was down, and I was like, is that bad? And that's just on Steam. We even talk about the consoles. So I think they got enough big player base that would know what Grand Theft Auto fucking is, and then if they come out, ain't gonna be like people like, oh yeah, I remember that game. I forgot about Grand Theft Auto. Ain't nobody gonna be saying that. Like, that's gonna be the biggest thing ever when it comes out with Grand Theft Auto 6 news and everything. They're fine to me, and on that front, on publicity, they're fine. That is not a problem.
That would benefit a lot of other companies far more than it would Rockstar Games.
Yeah.
Who literally can create news cycles of their own volition. If they announced today that on Monday they were going to show off Grand Theft Auto before this all happened, everyone would fucking be there, regardless of anything. Like, everybody's showing up. I would hear from people at work that I've never heard mention a video game before. They would be like, yo, did you see this Grand Theft Auto stuff? Oh my God. Like, that is not necessary to stage an elaborate hack.
What kind of play calling is this? Jesus Christ, this is why we're going to lose. I mean, not just because they're just a better team.
All right, Dominic, did you see any other news this week or have any other thoughts on Grand Theft Auto?
Nah. Yeah, not much. I mean, I'm glad. I'm kind of happy this came out. I mean, I'm not upset really. I mean,
it's cool seeing it. It was cool getting the stuff that we had heard before confirmed about it, basically.
Yeah. Like, I'm he got caught because did he threaten them? Did he say like was that true about that? Like him asking for some money or something?
Yeah. So they were trying to extort the Rockstar. Okay. It sounds like basically they said they also got some of the source code, and if they didn't, talk to him or them about possibly compensation for it, they would release it on the internet. Friend,
telling him that Rockstar should give him one of those shark card those credit cards they got called shark cards. So here you go, you got this many dollars and like Grand Theft Auto now. Yeah, shark card. You got unlimited shark card. You can just buy anything. You got. Or yeah, he should have put up Bully. He should have said y'all have to make Bully 2.
Now
you have to make Bully 2.
Yeah, I mean this is to me reminiscent of like the Half-Life 2 leak. I mean, I think the statute of limitations is up now. Like when that happened, I downloaded that thing and played Half-Life 2 before that thing came out. That was on like another echelon of leaking there. That was insane. But that did delay the game.
Like, was the game off when that came out?
Oh shit, man. I don't even recall. Maybe like a year and a half out, something like that.
And it had a lot of game like available to be played.
It wasn't necessarily the game. Like I want to say the part that was in there was like maybe some of the Ravencroft stuff or Ravenholm stuff. Because
I don't remember that. I don't remember reading about that.
It was mostly that like Source 2 had leaked, and that was the big thing about it. It wasn't necessarily like the game and the story got out there, as far as I recall. But maybe I'm just remembering it differently because like my focus for having downloaded that was to see if it would actually even run on my computer at the time. And I think I ended up being surprised. No, I think that ran pretty poorly on my computer because it was very out of date by then. But yeah, it's just wild to see this happen sometimes. And, you know, it sucks that obviously this person was doing this for nefarious reasons, but it's also nice just seeing some of the stuff that we don't get to see sometimes. You know, there's a little bit more transparency in video games. It would be nice if it didn't need to be forced in the way that it was in this case, you know, where you got somebody hacking in. Like the Dead Space developers have been doing a really cool job, and it's not something that I've stuck with because I'm not really interested in maybe that level of detail sometimes. But they've done a good job of just getting on Twitch and being like, here's how we're making the game. This is our sound design, and we're going to run you through a couple of demos showing you that. And this is our rigging system. This is how our animations work. Like that stuff's really cool for the people that are really into that stuff. And I could see it even motivating younger people or people just looking for an opportunity to see more of that and learn from it and inspire them to become, you know, animators or sound designers or what have you in the games industry. It very much feels like to us, video games have always been magic. Like, how do you make a video game? I don't fucking know. It wasn't until like very late into our like adolescence and our teenage years growing into adults before we actually saw like, oh, these are developers, we know their names, you know, and we're starting to see how these things are actually produced. Like if you told me how someone programmed a Super Nintendo game, my mind would fucking be blown probably. So I think that's really cool. There's a cool aspect to it, I should say. Yeah.
So at least we know that it could be like a woman lead and a male lead, or I mean, we know you can play as a woman now. Now I don't know if it's
and
like
you can switch
thing.
between them. There was a video where they showed kind of the transition the same way in 5 you could transfer between the three of them.
So that was true.
Yep. Wild, Dominic. It's fucking wild. It's just to wake up on a Sunday morning.
She got a booty too, man.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yep. I like them thick, Daniel. Like them thick. All
right, Dominic. Anything else for the week?
Nah, I'm good, man.
All right, we got new releases here. As you mentioned earlier, Beacon Pines is now out on the PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles, and is part of Game Pass, as is Deathloop, which is out now on the Xbox series of consoles. We also have Shovel Knight Dig, which I mentioned earlier. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch,
Deathloop was on PS4,
iOS.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just not going to be on Xbox One. Darn, that sucks.
I don't remember now if it was on PS4 also. Let's see here. Deathloop. Store. I think it might have been a PS5 exclusive.
Then why the hell were they making a big deal about it not being on Xbox One?
These people are complainers.
No, I mean, it was a news outlet. It was saying it will be on Xbox Series X and S, but not the Xbox One. And I was thinking, like, oh, it was on PS4. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no. Wait. Part of the deluxe. See this? Why can't they make this easier to... Like, it's showing as a PS5 game as the standard edition, but the deluxe edition shows PS4, PS5 with Deathloop and weapons packs and soundtrack selection. How do I just buy a PS4 version then? Is Deathloop PS4 exclusive? Following on its release, PS5 and PC last year? Yeah, like I'm not seeing any indication that it came out on the PS4. Yeah, no, it seems like it's been a next gen thing this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why would somebody complain about that?
I don't know why that was a story. It was weird. And it's weird now. Because I was thinking it was on PS4. It's like,
yeah. Is it just because they're like, oh, everything on Xbox should be on both consoles, and like,
oh, maybe that's what it is.
Have they implemented it yet where you can stream Xbox Series games to the Xbox One if you want them or something?
I mean, that's what I've been doing.
Oh, right.
I mean, you said stream Series X games on Xbox One, right?
Yeah, no, I was thinking of a different thing, but yeah, obviously, this is on Game Pass, and you would be playing it through Game Pass, so you could stream it to the Xbox.
Yeah,
I don't know what I was thinking. Like you would have had to buy the game, but I don't know. Anyway, of course. Yeah, so what's the why complain? You literally have more options than you do to play it on a PS4. So fuck off. There's bad takes on the internet sometimes, Dominic. All right. Also out now is Hard Space Shipbreakers. That's out now on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I think we've talked about this game a couple of times in the past now. This is basically the one where you're like a space salvager.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of Minecraft.
I forgot to... I don't know if I mentioned it then. I played a little bit of this game just to try it out because I saw somebody playing it on Twitch. I mean, it seems like it'd be all right, but I'm just playing other games. Like, there's other games I'd rather play than that. So, yeah, that's just what it is.
Gotcha. All right, we also have Jack Move. That's out on the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It's a JRPG set in a cyberpunk world. It's got kind of a pixel art style. It looks okay. The reviews, I think, are fair. Not great
Jack
or not
Move.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah, I tried that game because I saw some good reviews for it. It's on Game Pass. It's cyberpunkish. What's it called? Let me see. Citizen Sleeper or something like that?
Okay, yeah. Citizen Sleeper.
Oh, man. This is not what I thought. I thought it was going to be like an isometric kind of RPG, but it is totally text-based type of RPG. And, I mean, it got some... It shows pictures, but... Dude, I was like, oh, it's not even no voice acting? Hell no. I uninstalled that shit. I was like, oh no. This is, I was like, this is going to make me go to sleep. I said, nah, man. I said, this is not for me. This ain't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like, I was just reading and I was like, okay, when we won't get to actually do something? This is make a choice. It's like, do you do this? I said, what is this? Choose your own adventure shit? It's like, this is literally, like, I mean, I don't mind that, but I need to see some freaking animation here, man. I said, what the hell? I said, yeah, that wasn't for me. But Jack Move, yeah, I never seen this before.
Yeah, the first time I saw it was today. We also have the Outbound Ghost. This is out on PC. This is a Paper Mario style RPG, RPG. You're basically a ghost and you're trying to ascend to the afterlife.
What's it called again?
The Outbound Ghost.
The Outbound Ghost. Okay.
It looks all right. It reminds me kind of Tinykin as far as like visual style. It's got like those flat characters, just like Paper Mario. It seems okay. The reviews on Steam were mostly positive. There's only one review, one Metacritic that I see right now from Gaming Trend, and it's 45, so not great.
That's not good. Yeah, unless it's not a 50. I mean,
nope. Not at all. All right, next up is Solstice. This is out on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. This is a fantasy anime action game. Think, Devil May Cry or Bayonetta style thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's out. I also have the Diofield Chronicles. That's out on the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. That is a Square Enix real-time active strategy game. Think like XCOM or Final Fantasy Tactics, but it doesn't have tiles. It's more of a interactive thing than that. So, maybe real-time thing, I guess.
What is Solstice like? I'm looking for the reviews for this game. What is the reviews? Oh, 7 out of 10 on Steam. I don't see Metacritic for it though. Oh, go ahead. But Dozefield, what does that kind of get? You said it's what?
It's like a
Tactics.
XCOM.
Oh shit. Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay. And made by Square Enix. I mean, Square Enix published it.
Yeah, Square Enix published it. It's fantasy world anime kind of stuff. So we also have Session Skate Sim. This is out now on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. I'm actually surprised I hadn't heard more about this game because it seems kind of like a spiritual successor to Skate. It looks very like a low angle Skate, taking it more seriously than a Tony Hawk game. Basically, you're using the sticks in the same way that you did in Skate, where you're pushing down to pop up and stuff like that. So that seems pretty cool. Let's see what they got as far as the Push Square review. As I say yes to these cookies, 6 out of 10, so a little bit rough. Impressive dedication to realism, satisfying once you find the groove, runs really well, good soundtrack, but it is brutally difficult to begin with. Poor missions descriptions, mission variety is quite samey and a bit glitchy, so maybe something they can address through a patch if the issue is maybe just tutorializing better and fixing some glitches, things like that. And then, Dominic, we have Return to Monkey Island for the PC and Nintendo Switch.
I'm going to be playing this sometime. I just got to see how I can fit it in with these other games. But yeah, I do want to play this.
If it hadn't been for realizing that Shovel Knight Dig came out, I probably would have picked this up this week. Just to give it a start, probably on the Switch. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I need to watch some videos of this, because if it's like super point and clicky, I think I would maybe prefer to do it with a mouse. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited about that. Have you seen reviews for it yet?
Well, I saw IGN gave it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, I was going to say the couple I think I've seen have been pretty positive. I think
Nintendo Life gave it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Steam, 9 out of 10.
Nice. So, glad to hear
they
that.
They could have hacked those places and just put all 9 out of 10. That's what it's all the same.
Yes, they just copied and pasted.
Metacritic has an 88 out of 100.
Okay. I think that's not bad. So, very nice, Dominic. That is...
I mean, the lowest score I see is an 8 on it.
then I would
Yeah,
consider
while
that very good.
I guess Polygon don't do scores of Storm more. They say recommend.
Right. Yeah.
And Rock Paper Shotgun says best this best. So I guess that's I don't know. Maybe that is the best. I don't know. For Rock Paper Shotgun,
Is it the best of the best? What's happening?
this is best this best.
Sure. Feels like somebody took the wrong caption out of that review. All right. Was there anything else you had for the people this week then, Dominic?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as all the other podcast places, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify. And until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, 1, 2,